Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Blood Bowl Diaries with me, Hellboy.
And me, the fear.
We're back again. It's been a while, Fear, actually. I've been a bit busy. So,
Yeah.
it's
Well, has it been a while? I don't know. And it's six already.
yeah,
And
I know.
and
Six episodes in, and we only decided to do this for a bit of fun.
and also we sort of said one a month, but we're only halfway through month 5 of the year, and we're on episode 6. So we're doing something right.
Well, we're keeping up. We're keeping up with ourselves. As long as we get
We
12,
are.
12 done by the end of the year, I'll be happy. So
Well,
that's all right.
yeah. It's all right, isn't it?
Good. Yeah, I think the reason why it feels so long is that I haven't actually seen you because I went through a stage of seeing you, obviously Water Bowl, UKTC, and then
Mm.
now I haven't seen you. So that's why it feels like a long time. But yeah, yeah, well we're going to come on to NAFC, which is the main focal point of this podcast episode. But I guess we should go through what we've been up to in the world of Blood Bowl. So what have you been up to in the Blood Bowl world at the moment?
Yeah. Quite a lot and not a lot, if you get me. What have I been doing? Quite a bit of fumble, really. All kind of resurrection, sort of NAF style stuff. A tournament I run called the Gauntlet of Fear, which is it's like a knockout tournament, but each coach selects several rosters, so you play several games against the same opponent, and then the person that wins the most progresses to the next round. For the second, it's only we've run it twice, and a coach called Siggy has won it for the second time. So he's he looks pretty good in that format. And we used NAF, we used the Euro Bowl rules, so that was quite interesting to see the different rosters there. But because of the way it works, it takes a little bit of admin to make that work. Obviously, continuing to run the Tackle Zone Star Division tournament that we do on Funball, which again is the sort of kind of a league format, but using resurrection rules, using the Euro Bowl rules. Had a bit of an issue because, well, do you know what? The chap that runs Funball, Krista, is obviously fantastic, and within about 30 seconds of the new Norse roster being released, he'd updated the roster on Funball.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, yeah. um, and without boring people, the way that it works, you can create your own kind of custom rule sets and stuff on Funball to run your own leagues, and you can kind of pre-select the rosters. And obviously, there's a Blood Bowl 2020 that you can just click on that gives you all the Blood Bowl 2020 rule sets. And one of the coaches out of the whatever it is, 80 odd in the league, is running Norse, and the update has changed his roster from being sort of the team of legends Norse to the new Norse.
Yeah. And as we currently record this, it may change. We still yet wait to see what happens. But as we record this, the Euro Bowl, although they put a disclaimer in saying they could change rosters if they wanted to, as it stands, they are still going to use the Team of Legends Norse roster at Euro Bowl. Because obviously, if you don't set a date and GW keep on releasing updates to teams, then you'll just enter a never-ending cycle, won't you? So,
Yeah, absolutely. And so I had to learn how to make a custom roster. So I've made a Team of Legends Norse roster, and slotted that into the league. And I suspect some other people will want to use it as well. So if anyone is playing on Fumble and is looking for Euro Bowl practice and wants a Norse roster that will represent the rules that will be played at Euro Bowl as it stands, you're looking for what I've called it Norse Euro Bowl 2022.
oh wow, that's a really original name there,
Yeah,
Fear. Gosh, that must have taken
yeah.
you hours to think of. Wow, you're
It
a
was just
genius. You're a genius at
it's just
name generation there.
it's just fiddly doing the roster because you've got to get all the icons right, and that was
Oh
fun.
yeah,
But
I get you. Yeah.
I've also played a couple of games.
Oh, very
I
good, very good.
played a game with my High Elves against a chap called Store and his Wood Elves.
Store name doesn't ring a bell. Sounds a bit rubbish, to be honest with you. Actually, I don't think he's
Well,
that. He's not that good, is he? Really?
well, I mean, he beat me, so let's say he's great. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Storr, wow, one of the best in the world, mate. Oh, phenomenal. Halfling coach, Wood Elf coach. Whoa, quality guy.
Well, I mean, for people that don't know, he shot to a bit of prominence, didn't he, over lockdown? He won a couple of quite big things, I think, on both Fumble and BB2. You know, sort of, I think, came a little bit from nowhere, or came a little bit from being very much a stunty coach, to sort of winning a lot of stuff with Wood Elves. And
Storr is known for two things, really. Storr is known for at one point having over 70% win rate with halflings on Blood Bowl 2 in the ladder format. And although win rate doesn't really count for very much, 70% with a stunty race was pretty phenomenal. And then he won the Black Box Trophy with without having any what they call spin shield teams, because he'd only just started playing on Fumble. Won Black Box Trophy without spinning, a TV 2000 Nurgle team at the same time as his, TV 1100 halflings, that kind of thing. So he did it all without spin shield teams, and then he won TSD Fumble Season 1 with Wood Elves, didn't he? So he is no slouch.
He did as well. Yeah. Absolutely. It was a good game. I drove and I got, not a lot happened. We sort of stood off each other, ran around each other a little bit. I got 2 or 3 players in scoring range just before I sort of moved forward. Sadly, one of them got punched and died. The other one fouled a block and died. So that kind of left me devoid of scoring threat. So I could still have done the whole kind of 3+3+2+ dodge. But I needed a couple of blocks to clear the way. A block and a blitz. And the first block was with a non-block player, and I 1 in 89'd it, or whatever it is, 1 in 81'd it. Lost my drive. And then on his drive, again, we ran around in circles. About turn 5, he was sort of in his half of the field towards the sideline, and it had quite a nice little L shape going. So it looked momentarily like I'd done enough to probably get the draw. But I'd failed to notice that with one block, he could give himself a load of 2+ dodges through on a diagonal. Which he made them all, and then was kind of wrong side of me and went in for 1-0. So that was slightly frustrating. That's probably another one where I've done 15 good turns of Blood Bowl and won.
Yeah.
And won. And then I've also they've started running a NAF tournament, so it'll go on my NAF online record called Mid-Spring Madness. Or Mid-Spring Mayhem or something like that. Updated version of the UK TC rules. So basically exactly the same as the rules for the UK Team Challenge that we were talking about in the last episode, but they've moved the tiers around a little bit. So things like High Elves have gone sort of upwards a couple of tiers, so they don't get quite as many skills and stuff like that. Wood Elves have dropped into the second tier, that sort of stuff. I played against a New Zealand coach called Sandu, who I think actually is amongst the highest ranked coaches on Fumble, so I should have probably seen what happened coming. I'm using brand new Norse. Because,
you're trying them out for us, are you? It's a podcast exclusive, trying out the new Norse.
Yeah.
Did you take a beer pig?
Yeah. I did not. No.
Well, that's then completely unscientific. Well done. Right, we'll just skip this segment then. Why didn't you take a beer pig?
Yeah, well, having not used Norse really before, I thought, well, I'll get to the beer pigs later.
Okay, fair enough. That's all the justification I need. Okay, so you're trying it out now, and then in future you'll start messing about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got 13 players. I've got a Yeti, 2 Ulf Werners, 2 Valkyrie, and a Berserker, and then lineman. The Yeti, a lot of people have given it block, but I just went with Mighty Blow because I like it. I've got a block Ulfwerner and a guard Ulfwerner. I've got leader on a Valkyrie and dodge on a Valkyrie because I thought ball carrier might want to dodge at some point. And I used the double that I could get to put guard on a lineman. I've got an Apo as well.
Wow. Wait a minute. Hold on. Fear, I love guard more than any other skill, chooses to use his secondary option as guard. Well, that's pretty breaking news there. That's pretty breaking news there. I did not see that one coming.
But only 2 guard in the team, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit guard light for you. In all seriousness, it is quite guard light for you. So how did you get on in this first game? How did you find him?
Well, Sandoon was using pro elves, and he was going with the whole kind of. Obviously, he's got the dodge on the 2 blitzers. He's got kick. He's got strip ball on a catcher. You know, he's going for the whole kind of deep kick, par pressure type of stuff. And it was a really weird game because, you know, he kicked deep. I took some blocks. Maybe I killed something. I think I possibly KO'd something in the first turn. But my Yeti then went into the whole kind of, you know, 3 dice. You know, was a both down and two skulls. So that sort of ended my first turn. But I've got a player stood next to the ball. So, you know, I wasn't too worried about having not picked it up yet. But without sure hands, I thought I'd take that block first because I think statistically it's less likely to go wrong than the pickup. Yeah, he ran a blitzer through, but then snaked a go for it into a stun. So that's that removed for it to, you know, from effectiveness for it to got the ball, moved it forward, made a cage. Around turn 4, he tried to just sort of cage dive me and failed. Turn 5, he tried to cage dive me and it worked, and he knocked me over on a 1 dice block. But the ball scattered straight to another one of my players who caught it. Turn 6, he had, because I'm now a bit wedged up, he saw quite a nice chain push that could have, I think, potentially shoved my ball carrier to the edge of the cage, which would have given him probably a 1 dice with his strip ball player. But he rolled a both down and a skull on the block to start the chain push. Didn't have block, so turn over. So turn 7, I move forward and I'm basically completely the wrong, you know, I'm completely where I want to be. About 5 squares from the end zone. Ball in a nice eye cage, you know, with a guard player stood next to the ball carrier. But I've made a horrendous error because one of my cage corners has gone and stood next to his like last remaining defender, really. And with the full intention, I'm going to blitz that player away. And for some reason, in the heat at the moment, I decide I'm going to blitz that player away with the Yeti.
Oh, dear.
The Yeti obviously fails its unchanneled fury, whatever it's called, which means he's able to open the cage. He's got a 2 dice uphill with his strip ball player. I don't suppose he's ever been happier to see double push. The ball actually bounces then to that strip ball player who catches it, who then has to 4+3+2+ out of there. I think without really any rerolls, but you know, gets out of there. I managed to knock it over. My Valkyrie has to pick the ball up in a tackle zone on a 4+, dodge out on a 3+ with dodge reroll, and then needs a 4+ pass with pass skill, you know, to the original lineman who would then run in and score. But we obviously wildly inaccurate it, and his blitzer picks the ball up and hands it off to his catcher who, you know, luckily for him, or was it good play? He stood in scoring range.
Oh, that sounds pretty lucky to me. God.
Yeah. So it's 1-0 to him, and really, I'm looking at it going, I've had all the luck, and my own stupidity has put me 1-0 down. Second half, I get a perfect defense, so I kind of lock up the line of scrimmage. He's caught the ball 1 square back from the line of scrimmage on a catcher. He tries to kind of create a pocket to the right, fails an early, snakes an early dodge. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. I get the ball on the floor. I probably mess up the blocking sequence slightly. I probably could have guaranteed the ball goes down somewhere where it's reasonably easy for me to get. I need to look at that again, which is the beauty of playing online that you can. But ultimately, it ends up scattering to a point where it's in two of his tackle zones. I can't really do a lot to defend it, so I figure, well, I'm just going to go and try and grab it with a player. Fail with my Dodge Valkyrie to grab it. The scatter goes even worse for me. It pops out the other side, so his blitzer just needs to pick it up and run off. So that's 2-0. But, there's still 6 turns left. So we've got a chance. I go heavily down the right, create a pocket. I need a 3+ pass, 3+ catch, 3+ handoff to score the 2-turner, to go back to kind of 2-1 with 4 turns remaining. And that's another wildly inaccurate on the pass. So he grabs that and goes 3-0 up. And then I hit an incredible touchdown. I hit a 6+ pass, 4+ catch, 3+ dodge, 3+ go for it to go 3-1. And then he's only got 1 turn left, so I get ready for the I defend the 1-turner because I don't want to lose 4-1, obviously. And he sets up to get the timeout, the old riot, which he gets the old timeout. He gets.
Yes.
And so I lose 4-1.
Oh God.
And I am left with a feeling that I've slightly diced this guy, and somehow got thrashed. Yeah.
It's brilliant. Wow. Wow.
I was just a bit like, I don't understand what's happened here. But yeah, I mean, it all snowballed. That mistake on turn 7 of my drive just snowballed the rest of the game, really. And that can happen against.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's hilarious now. We listen back at it and stuff, but it's also great you're able to pinpoint that moment. And this is the mark of a good coach. They'll see the one opportunity they get and take it and go, right, well, there's my chance. And okay, it's a 4-3-2, but he may not get a better opportunity than that in the rest of the game. So I'm going to go for it now and take it now. So yeah, no, you can't. No, that sounds like a good plays at the right moment after you left the option there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And these things happen. But on the plus side, it's game 1. So I lost the first game of the last tournament they did on Funball, and then ended up going 4-1-1. So maybe I'll just have to hit the submarine now and hope that mind you, the last time I did it in the last tournament, the next game I played was against Liam from Team Italy. So
there may be someone else lurking in the depths who's doing the same thing as you. Yeah. Looking for the poor schmuck who he's going to now beat. Yeah.
But what I will say is, having a blodge ball carrier like the Norse used to have, I suppose quite commonly because they had that block player with the edge access. You probably miss that a little bit. Obviously, the whole having pass and catch didn't really come off for me because the 2 of the 3 passes I tried to hit both went horribly sideways due to the wildly inaccurate roll. But otherwise, I mean, they seem to play pretty much as they did before. The Yeti's still the same. The Ulfs are still the same. You shouldn't really be trying to go for it, really, unless you have to. I think the drunkard rule kept a couple of my players on the pitch that would have been KO'd otherwise. So, yeah, I'm not. It wasn't the team. It was definitely user error, that put us in trouble.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to hear in the next episode, because hopefully you'll have played a couple more games in this thing, because it's 1 a week in this tournament. So it'll probably be a few weeks before we get some get another podcast on after this one. So that'll be nice to hear a bit more how you've progressed with the team and how you find, because hopefully you'll have had a few more games with it and be able to give us some more feedback as to where some strengths or weaknesses lie.
Yeah, but I mean, at the moment, I don't think it doesn't seem wildly different. As I said, I've not played that much. I think I played them in one thing on BB2 before, but I've not really played that much Norse. So, but I always regarded them as a bogey team, like a team that I didn't like playing against. And yeah, so far, it doesn't seem wildly different to me. It doesn't seem wildly different. The things they were good at, they're still good at, I think, is what I'd say. But we'll see, as you say. We'll see. We'll see how they go. How about yourself then, buddy? What have you been up to?
Well, I guess there's three things that have been going on. One, I've been continuing my embark in Blood Bowl 2's Chalice, the end of season tournament. I can't remember if I played round one when we did the last one. I genuinely can't remember, but won round one. So that, I beat some humans in round one with my Dark Elves. Then I beat Bazaka Steen, that people listening may know from Fumble. Very good coach. Scraped past him with an Amazon team that has agility up Amazons on it, and Roxy and a wizard. So that was a scraping past him there. And then I beat some stat up vampires in a very, very bizarre game. And I'm now in the quarterfinals. And my quarterfinal at the point of recording is in a couple of days' time. So when we do a next recording, we'll know whether I've either crashed out in the quarterfinals, the semi-final, or made it to the final. So we'll know by the next time I think we do a podcast. So yeah, that's been going on in the back burner.
So for people that aren't kind of fully aware of, so BB to Blood Bowl 2, you know, you're sort of, if you're looking for a game, you quite often will drop into the, what's it called, the Champions Ladder?
Yeah, the Champions Ladder. Yeah, it's a bit like spinning in the old black box on Fumble.
Yeah, and at the end of the season, the teams that have, or the coaches with the teams that have the most or the highest win rate with each race, effectively get invited to play in a knockout tournament to determine an overall winner. Well, that happens roughly every 6 weeks, is it?
Yeah, every 7 weeks at the moment. Yeah, and so yeah, you get 64 coaches go into this tournament, and then you work your way down in a knockout format, like Wimbledon or French Open or whatever, whatever. Insert tennis tournament, World Cup, whatever you want to do. You just go through knockout, overtime format as well, so the third half can occur. And yeah.
And so you have like some ridiculous Dark Elves with
I've got a disgusting Dark Elf team. Yeah.
And then in your quarterfinal match, you say, so that's going to be against someone else, another streamer.
Yes,
is it?
Yes, misspelled Tree, wonderful streamer. She's very good. She's very good with elves. Luckily for me, she's not brought wood elves this time. She's brought pro elves, and they're a little bit busted. But I don't think I can stop her getting a wizard. So it's going to be dark elves versus pro elves with a wizard. So it could be an interesting one. Yeah, hopefully it will be a game for the ages. That's what we're hoping.
And where can people, if they're listening to this in time, where can people watch that?
People can watch that over on Tree's channel. So that's twitch.tv/misspelledtree. And I believe it's going to be my very good friend Duderino, my good friend, but is he a very good friend? I don't know. Andy Davo, and then Cauliflower, who is part of the Hey Listen podcast, which we'll give a little shout out to. Hey Listen, being a group of the ladies in Blood Bowl, and who also talk about other games and lots of different things. So
they've registered a team called Hey Listen for the
UKTC. Exactly.
In 2023. I wondered what that was about. Now I understand.
There we go. Yeah,
right, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we give them a shout.
Oh, look, mate. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Yes.
That's that'll be cool, and I will try and watch it.
Yep, no, it'll be a good. Fingers crossed, it'll be a good game. That's all we both want. We've been messaging each other a bit, and really, but what we both want is just a good game. Just something fun. You hate to see these games where it's like, oh great, there's sweltering heat. Oh great, there's throw a rock. Okay, well that's the game done. It's like you don't like these games, do you? Especially because remember this is the 2016. Well, not even 2006. It's Living Rulebook 6 rules. So
Yes.
Anyway, enough about that. Enough about that. Let's move on to some Blood Bowl 2020. So the other thing that's happened is I've started playing in a local tabletop league. The first time I've ever done this. My local game store that's not a GW one is running for the first time a Blood Bowl league. So I've chosen to take humans. Two reasons for that. One, I was taking them to NAFC, which we'll come on to in a minute. And two, I was aware from the pre-season discussion that I am a little bit more experienced than everyone else playing. And when I was thinking about taking a team, I thought to myself, well, if you're going to commit to playing in person, against people that are new, who are maybe learning the game, do I want to take a team that's really, really good, and be that guy who turns up, with a really good team, wins everything, and people get really grumpy with and like, oh, well, you just did this? Or would I rather take a team that is good enough to mean that I can still play well and enjoy myself and win games, right? Because I do want to win games, but doesn't have armor 9 plus, 10 plus all over the place, doesn't have, the agility 2 plus all over the place. And so in the end, I decided, humans would be a sensible team to take, because at least they'll break, and at least I can still do things like one turn if I had to, and I can do some nice level ups on my pieces and stuff. So yeah,
I think it's a good roster to take, to be honest. It's tabletop leagues are always fun. I think you get a real I chafe a little bit, as you know, when I hear people talk and they talk about online play, and then when they refer to tabletop, they just refer to tournaments, because me, a lot of the Blood Bowl that gets played, the majority of Blood Bowl that gets played, maybe not in total number of games, because you can churn 10 games a night, can't you, online? But a lot of in terms of the numbers of people playing, the tabletop league is kind of what it's all about. That's what Death Zone's all about. That's what Mercenaries are all about. That's what a lot of the stuff that they put down in the rule set is all about. It's about the beer and pretzels. It's about the tabletop league experience. And you know what? When we become very focused on things like tournament play and so on and so forth, or playing in things like the Chalice and Blood Bowl 2, or you probably are more experienced than a lot of the people that will pick the game up in a local tabletop league. Unless you happen to move to Newcastle and play in the Geordie League, or there's that league down in London that seems to produce never-ending streams of England players and that kind of thing. But for the most part, that then becomes the juxtaposition, doesn't it? You want to play and have fun. You want to get to know people, but you don't just want to power game through it.
Exactly.
Challenging experience for yourself as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to get something from it as well. And don't get me wrong. I'll put my hand on my heart and say, I'm trying to win it. This is season 1. I would like to win it. I know I stand a good chance, right? Things can still happen. But I want to win it. And then maybe next season I can go, well, you know what? I've got a Nurgle team. I'm never going to take them to a tabletop tournament. A NAF tournament. So maybe it's the time for me to paint my Nurgle team up so that I can play Nurgle in the tabletop league and not care about winning or losing, just care about playing with the team that, looking at my minis and going, yeah, this was nice. So there's definitely something to it. I mean, and as I say, a lot of things can happen. So I'm currently leading the league. I've done 2 matches. I've got another match scheduled in a few days' time. I'm currently leading. I'm the only person that's won 2 games. Game 1 was versus Black Orcs. I started with 12 players on my roster, and then I started the next game with 8 rostered players and 3 journeymen. I had a dead thrower. I've got 2 niggled halflings, and one of my blitzers got niggled in game 1. So it was, but the thing was that my opponent, they've said this first league they're only awarding 3 things. They're awarding league winner. We're not doing playoffs. We're just doing round robin kind of thing. We're awarding league winner. We're awarding most touchdowns, and we're awarding most casualties. So my guy, I started game 1 with a win, so that put me at the top. And my guy went, oh wow, I've cased 4 players this game. I'm now leading most cas at the moment. Everyone's chasing me, And that's the thing, right? It was really good fun. And and he got something from it, and I got something from it as well. And it was a good laugh. And when you're down to 5 players, 5 versus 11, however good you are, is difficult. Yeah, it was a real challenge, So that was nice. And then game 2 I played versus Amazons, and I got another win. But again, it was like there were so many. He was one of these guys who just went, oh well, I've got dodge, so I'm going to roll it. So I'd go, okay, well that's a 3+, yeah, fine. That's a 5+, yeah, and he'd roll a 5. That's a 6+, oh yeah, roll a 6. And it does add a challenge to it, and it's kind of fun watching people play the game in a different way, if you know what I mean, like not going, oh well, that 4+ is a little bit risky, or oh that 1D, I don't think I'm going to throw that because if it goes wrong, I'm in real trouble there. They'll just go, oh well, I've got 4 rerolls. Well, there we go. Let's roll a 1D. Oh, I rolled a skull. Oh, I'll re-roll it. Oh, there's a POW. Oh, now your player's off the pitch. So there is some fun there as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I must say I'm looking forward to my next game. So yeah, it's I've leveled 2 players. I've got a Mighty Blow Blitzer and a Guard Blitzer, and my Ogre is nearly leveled as well. So yeah, it's looking good. So again, when we come to the next episode, I'll hopefully be able to update you on how that one's going.
Cool. That sounds wicked, mate.
Yeah, and then the final thing that I did, of course, is I went to NAF Champs, which leads us very nicely segueing on. I mean, it's almost as if we've done, 5, 6 episodes of this now? So, we can kind of get the segue. So, I went to NAF Champs and I took humans. So, before we begin, let's do a quick coverage of the rule set. So, the rule set for NAF Champs was untiered. So, everyone gets the same skill pack. Everyone gets the same team value, 1,150, pretty standard at the moment. And then you got your skill pack, which was 6 primaries, 1 secondary. You didn't have to take the secondary. You could take a primary instead if you wanted to. And then stars were only available. 1 star was only available for your stunties. Pretty standard, so there was an interesting mix of races. Undead was high, Lizard was high, Dark Elf was high. And then humans were actually quite high as well. And some dwarves were high as well. Quite a few orcs. But yeah, there was some nice teams in there. Some Slan, some Khorne. Yeah, it was a good representation. And there was even one very brave Nurgle coach who was sat next to me at one point in the day as well. And having a lovely time. So that was really nice to see. So yeah, that was the rule set. My roster, I went with a 14-player roster for humans. 3 rerolls Apo. Ogre with guard.
Yeah, like it.
3 blitzers with guard.
Really like it.
1 blitzer with tackle. Now, the reason why I took tackle and not guard,
I
could have had guard. I do wish I had guard. But the reason why I went tackle was because I knew that with the secondary available, we were going to see block skinks, we were going to see blodge ghouls, we were going to see, there was going to be players, we were going to see dark elves everywhere, right? Blodge, and I thought, right, I don't like taking tackle. But of all the times to take tackle, this is probably the one. So I took a tackle.
Yeah.
Took a block thrower. Then I've got I've got 2 catchers. One of which has got sneaky git. And then I've got linemen to 12, and then 2 halflings, who are going to be on the bench for most of the games in the ideal world, right? Yeah. So that's my roster. Was I happy with it? Yes. I wanted I'd thought about putting Sneaky Git on a halfling, but then with some discussion with some other coaches and stuff, I thought actually you don't want to have that lower AV, too many lower AV pieces on the pitch necessarily. So every drive when I was defending, I would bench the catcher with no Sneaky Git and both halflings.
See, to me, but I know there's a lot of focus on the bit of Sneaky Git where you don't get sent off.
Yep.
Right? But to me, the other part of that skill, the ability to move after the foul,
yep,
is sometimes a little overlooked. But you maximise that by having a higher movement piece.
Yep. Oh boy, was it good sometimes. When we go through the games, I'll mention when the moments were when it was really good, right? But yeah, so I was happy with the roster. You've noticed though that I've not taken the secondary. Block on the ogre.
Well, I was wondering about I was wondering about whether Sneaky Git could have gone on a line.
Could have put it on a lineman. Could have put it on a lineman as the secondary. But
at least 2 and 6, I suppose. But
yeah,
no, I think that's right. I mean,
yeah.
On the ogre, God on the ogre. I don't know.
If you put block on the ogre, though, you're also tempted to use him a bit more. And I quite like not using the big guys when I can. You know, there's always that moment when you look at a Croxagore and go, "Do I really need to activate you?"
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was that. So right, in terms of just pre-event, just a couple of things to note. Pre-event, I finished work on the Friday. And I drove to pick up my good friend El Duderino.
Not Falling Down Joe.
No, Falling Down Joe couldn't make it because of family reasons, a bit like yourself. And so I picked up my good friend El Duderino, who's taking goblins. We will talk about his NAFC at the end because I know he doesn't listen to the podcast, but the sod's law will be that he'll listen to this episode, if all of them, and go, "Oi, oh boy, why don't you talk about my goblins?" So I will. I'll make sure I mention his goblins at the end. Picked him up, and then we drove to our other friend Andy Davo's house, where we stayed the night. So that
just mention the impression you just did of El Duderino there.
Yes,
was exceptional. I mean, if he was to ever, when you do your co-commentary,
yes,
he was to ever not be available, you could just pretend to be him.
That's a great idea. But I think. If I was to attempt that, I wouldn't want to do it for a whole match, about an hour and 45 minutes, because I think I'd go absolutely insane, wouldn't I? Anyway, moving on, in jokes and all that. Right, moving on. So I stayed at Andy Davo's house. We had a pizza for dinner. Very nice. Good rest.
Nice.
Good rest, and bacon sarnies for breakfast, and made our way to NAFC. In the morning. Yeah, lovely stuff. Now, I'm going to open with praise for NAFC. The room was the same as always. Same room, they hadn't changed anything. Apart from they'd made some pitch size adjustments, which we will come on to momentarily in Game 1. But the whole room, to me, felt, even though there were a similar number of coaches as UKTC present, the whole place felt safer than UKTC in terms of COVID.
Sorry, yeah. For a second, I was like, "What?"
Yeah. No, in terms of the COVID situation, it was really good. It was really nice. The guys, obviously, UKTC, phenomenal organisation job. NAFC, phenomenal organisation job. But it just felt, having been in attendance at UKTC and then been in attendance at NAFC, for some reason I felt, oh, you know what, NAFC feels just a little bit safer in terms of that COVID thing. Maybe it's because I also had COVID already and I was less worried about getting it again because, having had it within the last 2 weeks or whatever, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks having it or whatever, and then 2 weeks after being NAFC, you're less likely to catch it again in that time.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So, but yeah.
That's like when I went to Water Bowl, I wasn't bothered because I literally just...
Exactly, yeah. You just come off the back of it, yeah. Yeah, so that was good, and there were a few vendor stands there as well, some dice, some 3D printed models, the usual stuff, very exciting stuff. So yeah, I managed to resist spending money, so that was good. But very easy to get sucked into that, and I think a fair few people made some good purchases that weekend. So so that was good. Yeah. So let's delve into game one. So game one, I sit down. And up walks Dark Dan, who, listeners of the podcast will remember that name from Water Bowl, was my game 5 at Water Bowl with his Dark Elves versus my Lizards there. He walks up, and this time, he's playing Lizards. So, wonderful, friendly face to start day one. And something I'm going to say, I'm sure Dan, I don't know if he'll listen to the podcast, but I'm sure Dan won't mind me saying, there's definitely two people turn up at NAFC, right? There's the people that turn up there going, right, I'm very much in the meta, I'm going to be very focused, want a good result, this kind of thing. And there are the people that are already drinking at 10 a.m. on day one. And Dark Dan turned up with a pint of something in his hand at 10 a.m. for game one. So so that was that, and I was we sat down. He recognised me. Oh, hi, how's it going? Yeah, lovely. We had a lovely little catch up at the beginning, and I knew it was going to be an enjoyable game. I'd enjoyed the game that we played at Water Bowl, so I was looking forward to it.
Two things that I'm thinking immediately. One, Lizards aren't necessarily a great matchup.
Yes.
And secondly, you'd probably apply the played him game 3 when he's had a chance to drink a bit more.
Yes, these were two things that also crossed my mind. Was how many of you had already? Blast! You're only a few sips into the first one. Damn, and then yes, what a great matchup Lizards is for humans. Mm-hmm. So he ran through his roster. He'd chosen to take the secondary on the Crocs, giving it block. He'd got 4 Blocksaurus. He'd then got a Tacklesaurus, which I wasn't surprised at. Again, in the same way as I'd taken a Tackle Blitzer, I think I wasn't surprised to see that. But then the 6th Saurus skill was Strip Ball, which was quite interesting actually to give a Saurus Strip Ball, I thought. But then again, I guess that works well against the teams that either only have one Sure Hands. If you can chip that Sure Hands. Then what are they left with? And then actually against Dark Elves, that's pretty good. Because Dark Elves aren't going to take a Sure Hands normally,
Do you know what? Personally, I would have, spent a double probably on the Block Crocs or on a Sure Hands Skink.
Yep. Sure Hands Skink for me, for sure.
But now I've heard Strip Ball. Strip Ball on a Skink could be really interesting.
Ooh.
You can't stop it.
No, you're right. No, because you're always going. You're happy to go for the uphill anyway with Strip Ball, and you've probably got a reroll. So yeah.
Wow. Anyway,
yeah.
But you've got to So Sure Hand Saurus.
Yeah. Strip Ball. So I'm not too worried because I got a Sure Hands thrower. He's got 11. He's got rerolls, Apo, this kind of thing, right? So, but he's only got 11. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Now this matchup becomes a little better with 11 for him, for me, because of my sneaky git.
Yeah.
So we do the kickoff. I win the kickoff, so I kick to him because I've played a lot of Lizards, and I'm happy to kick to him. And I set up, and he sets up, and yeah, we it's pouring rain.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're on 4 pluses to pick up. And we start the game, and he does the first block, knocks me over. Fine, I'm still on the pitch. Does the second block, knocks me over. Fine, still on the pitch. And then I look at the pitch and I go, hang on a minute, mate. And he goes, oh, what? And I go, you remember you read me your roster? And he said, yes. I said, you haven't put one of your players on the pitch. You've got an 11-man roster. You've got 10 players on the pitch. Your Croxigor is still on your stand.
Oh, no.
So...
Oh.
So because if you remember the Water Bowl one, he's the guy who did the Mortal Kombat Dark Elves, beautiful team, right? This Lizard team was 2 years previous to him painting that one, and I said to him, right, I can tell the difference in standard, but having played your more recently painted team and now this team, I can tell the difference in standard. However, this team is still way above my level of painting. And he brought his stand to put them on, so he had extra skinks on the stand and star players and all this kind of stuff, right? And he just left his Crocs on. And I looked at him, and he looked at me and he went, "Oh, it's my fault, mate." And I looked at him and I went, "Hang on a minute, right? This is game 1 of a tournament. I know you. You've read me your roster. I'm not comfortable with you not playing with your full... there's no way. You've got 11 players. It's not like you've made a blunder and put an additional skink on, right? You've literally left one of your players off the pitch, right?" And I said to him, "Right, I'll make you an offer, I'll choose where to put the Croxagore on the pitch. I'll choose the square that you put him on, and we'll say you put him on the pitch." And he looked at me and he went, "Yeah, okay, that seems fair. That's very, very kind of you." And I said, "Yep, no problem." And I didn't put it in the back corner of his half or anything stupid like that, right? I put it in a semi-logical place that wasn't going to be a disaster for me, but also wasn't going to screw him over for the rest of the game. And then he looked at me and said, "Right, I'm not going to activate him this turn." And he just turned him round. He said, "There we go. We'll just leave him there." And I'm quite glad I did that, because then Karma came round and thanked me very hard for that one, and punished him for not putting his player on the pitch, as he then proceeded to fail the pickup after throwing the final LOS block. So the ball's on the floor, and I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, well, I can blitz that Saurus and I can knock it over, maybe I can foul it and I can get some pressure on the ball. So I do this, I do the blitz, I knock the Saurus over, I foul it, I stun it, don't get sent off, then I apply some pressure on the ball. The next turn starts. He goes very, very early in the turn. It may have even been the first move of the second turn. He goes to pick the ball up and puts the reroll in and fails the pickup. And at this point, I'm sat there. I've done the very sportsmanship thing, right, of letting him put a player on the pitch. So he can't really complain about bad luck at this point, right? Because he could have had 10 players on the pitch. So I look at this and go, right, I can foul first, then move the catcher. Woom, throw back to the sneaky git movement there. So I foul again, stun again, and move off. And then all of a sudden, I've cleared the ball, and the ball's in my hands.
Hey.
And then it's just a case of me screening off. He tries a few more things. His Croxagore then refuses to move for the next 4 turns. So I mean, to the point where he says I might as well have just left him off the bench. It was great. It was great fun. Or maybe the next 3 turns. Anyway, it was great fun. And I bang it in on turn 6. Yes, I bang it in on turn 6 because he's managed to apply enough pressure on me that I can't get the stall for turn 7. So I go, well, it's your drive. I'll slot that one in. Thank you very much. So 1-0 to me, turn 6, pretty good. I think I've lost a lineman at this point, so I'm putting 2 catchers on the field, but it's still fine. I'm definitely in the driving seat. Still pouring rain. And he starts his turn 7, goes for the pickup, fails the pickup again, and on turn 7, I've got the ball in my hands.
Oh.
And I'm eyeing this up now, and I mean, he's looking at this now going, oh God, and I'm looking at this going, this is 2-0 with a bit of luck here, because, I've tied everything up. I've based things, I've tagged Saurus, he's got pretty sure he's got no rerolls at this point, and he's in trouble, right? He's staring down the barrel of the gun, and absolute credit to him, he manages to get a screen in place that is really, really annoying. Because obviously, turn 7, I'm able to pick the ball up, but I'm not able to. It's not like it's turn 6, pick the ball up, turn 7, establish a cage, turn 8, score. It's literally pick the ball up on turn 7 and try and get people to vaguely protect the ball, and maybe score on turn 8. So, he does a great job of screening to the point where I can't get through, and we start my drive at only 1-0. And that was credit to him for the plays he did there. He very sensibly went off to get another beer for the second half, being 1-0 down on your own drive. And then, I think I chipped one skink, but I hadn't removed any saws. I'd fouled a fair few times, but the fouling was just doing stuns. It was one of those, stun, that kind of thing, so. Second half starts, and it's very much, I get the ball, stabilise, I'm in a good position, let's push forward a bit, I've knocked you over, I'm going to foul, there's another stun. Finally, I get the removal with a foul on a Saurus, and the Apo fails. So now so now it's starting to look a bit healthier and stuff. He's chipped a couple again. Again lineman, this sort of thing, and it's we kind of making our way to the point in the game where I'm looking to see if I can get that second touchdown. And it's at this point that I would like to raise one minor, very very minor thing, and I'm not being critical of the NAF Championships, and I want them to know that I'm not being critical with the next thing I'm about to say. I'm merely saying what has happened. Okay, so the NAFC changed the pitches. They got custom pitches printed for NAFC 2022 to enable people to not have to lean over the desk so much. So they fit the tables perfectly. Okay?
Yeah.
However, by doing this, the squares have become a tiny bit smaller. Okay? So to the point where if you put 3 32mm bases next to each other, you're not in 3 squares by the time you're in a line.
Right.
Okay? Right. Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm not complaining about that in any way. Okay? Because, we all got round it. There were games where I stacked players on top of each other to make sure they were in the right squares. And it just is what it is. Next year, I will bring a team with 28mm bases and I won't have a problem. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
However, the printing on some of these, on the pitch, is kind of a bit of a muddy brown in some places. And this, coupled with the size of the squares being a bit smaller, did make, and I know I'm not the only one to have suffered in Game 1 or Game 2, did make sometimes seeing routes through on the pitch a bit strange. Okay. So, for example, my opponent, Dark Dan, in this game, left me a straight blitz on a skink without needing to go through any tackle zones or anything, just because he thought he'd screened off. Until I went, okay, I'll blitz your skink, that's 2 dice. And he went, oh yeah. I thought I'd screened that.
Right.
And it's at this moment on turn 7 that I do the same thing.
Oh.
And I look at this and go, okay, I've got a plan here. I'm 1-0 up. I can either push forwards and make it so that I could go 2-0 up. I can be 2 GFIs out from scoring with my player. But I don't have to score if I burn my reroll at some point in one of these turns, because I can just move to be 2 squares away, and then he doesn't have the skinks available to come and do the pass, etc., etc. as well. So, I can make it harder for him that way. Or I can turtle on turn 7 and just hold off for a 1-0. And I looked at it and I thought, okay, I can make this safe. A couple of dice needed, but I can make this safe and I can have the 2-0 option. So I do all that.
Yeah.
And then Dan looks at this for a minute and thinks for a bit and goes, okay, I'm going to throw that block there. And he throws the block and then he goes, okay, blitz on your ball. And I was like, okay, fair enough. Maybe there's a 5+ dodge here. And he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rush, and 2 dice. And I was like, oh damn, I thought I'd screened that. And I take responsibility for it, right? It's my fault. Yeah. I had 2 options. I've just justified to you why I did that option. And if the board state was exactly the same and I had that option again, and I knew I could screen it, I'm pretty sure I win that game there at that moment, right? So he sacks the ball. Then he throws a lot of other blocks. He doesn't have a scoring threat in place yet. Throws a lot of other blocks. Then he goes for the pickup. Still no scoring threat.
Oh.
Makes the pickup. Then he moves the scoring threat in place.
Wow.
So at this point, again, I'm not complaining about the sack. I'm not complaining about the ultimate end board state. But I think Dan could have moved the scoring threat. There's no dice on that scoring threat, by the way. There is literally just a move into range, and then we see what happens. So I wasn't tilted at this point, but I was a bit like, oh, that's a shame that these things didn't fail. That would have been there was a chance where he just has no one in range as well, right? Mm. Then the problem occurs, where I can blitz the scoring threat. If and I spot a lovely little chain push to save me a dodge and all of this and everything, and I get everything set up and I make the right rolls, etc. And then I 1 in 9, and we both go crashing down on the floor, so I don't blitz the skink. And then Dan is left with a simple 4 plus catch.
Oh, the rain. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it's a 2 plus, 2 plus, 4 plus. No, it's not because of the rain. It's because I've got a tackle zone on him. I've got a tackle zone on him. It's
the rain then.
No, the rain got lost at the second half.
Oh.
Sorry, I missed that out there. So the rain's gone. The rain's gone.
Shame.
Yeah, it was a shame. Yeah. So he's got a 2 plus GFI, a 4 plus catch, and a 3 plus dodge away from tackle.
Well,
okay. Because I managed to get tackle onto the ball, and then I had the blitz option afterwards. So that's happened. And he looks at this and he goes, "Okay, I've got a plan." And he starts doing a very beautiful but convoluted chain push. In order to try and get the block on the tackle guy that he can't get any other way, to free the tackle so he doesn't have to do the tackle hit. I think he rolled 3 additional blocks to get it. And then rolled a double both down against my blitzer with the tackle. And then he looked at me and went, "Oh, I've got 2 re-rolls. I'm going to re-roll that." And I went, "Okay, re-roll it." And he rolled another double both down. So now we're back in the same position as we were a minute ago, at the start of the turn, with a 4 plus catch, 2 plus GFI, 4 plus catch, 3 plus dodge away from tackle, with 1 re-roll now, not 2.
Yeah.
GFI rolls, he rolls a 5. Okay, fine. Catch roll, he rolls a 5.
Oh.
Dodge roll, he rolls a 5.
Nice. And
we draw the game.
Oh, dude.
Now, I'm not going to, I've said what happened there. I was very happy with his offensive drive, like the way I played his offensive drive defensively. I got lucky, the rain, the failed pickup, etc. I was happy with how I played my offensive drive. If I'd known I wasn't able to screen, if I'd taken a bit longer, because I must take the blame for it, right? The pitch is a reason for it, and I know I wasn't the only person to struggle early on in games, but by the end of the weekend, there was no problem with the pitches, right? So I should have taken a bit longer to check, right? And I could have turtled as well. So and then these things happen. You go 1-1, and a game that I thought I'd got in the bag slipped away into a draw. So,
well, I think that the thing to remember about this, right, is that first and foremost, it's a hard matchup, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
If you sat down to play with the greatest of respect to Dark Dan and his 10 a.m. beer, if you sat down to play yourself, you would expect the lizard version of yourself to beat the human version of yourself. So
yeah.
As much as, and this is, I've had to, some of the things that I've been through that were detailed in the last couple of podcasts in terms of games that have slipped away. Actually, you know what? If you said you're going to play against lizards with humans, unnamed opponent, but before the tournament started, you'd go, well, I'm probably taking a draw. happily.
Yeah. Exactly. The way the match pans out, I was a little unhappy at not winning it. Also because NAFC had 300 people, and although I'm not trying to kid myself, right, in the fact that the chance of anyone going 6-0-0 at NAFC is so slim. Right, it's so slim. There is so much luck of the draw. Great coaches. Podfrey, for example, went 2-2 versus Ogres in game 1 with Norse, and that means he can't win the tournament. That's the number 3 player in the world. And that's just what happens at these tournaments. But so to have had it's not that it was like, oh, I think I can go and win the tournament. It was like, okay, I had a win there that I could have won. That might have given me some good games later on in the tournament. So,
but basically, if you were going to NAFC to win 6 games, you'd probably take Lizards.
Yeah, Lizards or Dark Elves, yeah, for sure.
No, but, but you're taking humans for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Playing about, having some fun.
Victory. Yeah. Sorry, a draw ripped from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, a draw ripped from the jaws of victory. So now we move on to game 2. Okay. Now, game 2, I must apologise to my opponent. I don't know my opponent's name, because at the time of recording, the NAF results have not yet been uploaded, which is there's no issue with that at all. Other than I can't remember my opponent's name, and unfortunately he was playing Orcs, and there were quite a lot of Orc coaches there. The rest of them, I remember their names. So when we do the next podcast, I will profusely apologise to my opponent, name them several times. And say how wonderful they are again.
Just to be clear, before we went to Water Bowl, which is the first tournament report, you sent me how many messages telling me to take a notepad, write it down.
I know.
Yeah.
Shocking. I know.
Shocking.
I know. Believe me, I feel bad. Anyway, my opponent brought Orcs. Again. Orcs versus humans, a classic matchup. Not great for the humans, really, is it?
No,
right. My opponent had brought a block troll using the secondary.
Nice.
2 block biggins, 2 guard biggins. A mighty blow blitzer, a tackle blitzer, and lineman, no goblin, and no Apo, and 3 rerolls. So maybe a Mr. Throw. Mr. Throw, yes, because I removed Mr. Throw at a certain point in the game. Yeah. Nice. So it's nice standard solid roster. And I look at that and I go, oof, okay, this is going to be a tough one. He won the toss and kicked to me, and I was like, oh, great. I've now got to drive against Orcs. And then the wonderful kickoff event happened. Pitch invasion.
Oh.
Now, I tell you what, when I won the pitch invasion roll, I started salivating because I realised that at least one orc is going to hit the deck, and I've got sneaky git. So I'm going to get a free crack at an orc. And I can't remember exactly how many fell over in the end, but definitely 2 big uns went down.
Nice.
Including one on the LOS, and I'm like, ooh. Oh hello, I'm getting excited now because that's a free foul that I am 100% taking. That was the first thing I looked at was how can I blitz to clear that to do the foul. So this is what I do. I make sure the ball's a bit covered, but Orcs aren't the fastest, and he can't get to the ball even if something went wrong, so that was good. Yeah. I cleared for the foul, set up a 5-assist foul on the big un, foul him, stun. So he's stunned from the pitch invasion, but he's still stunned for he just lies there stunned. Okay, no problem. Pick the ball up, nice and safe, great. His turn 1. He takes turn 1, he chips a lineman.
Nah.
Okay, so turn 2. I'm looking at this going, right, let's clear the tackle zone again, and let's stamp on that Black Orc again. Right, clear the tackle zone, 5-assist foul, let's do it early. Boom, step on him, stun. Okay, move the catcher out of the way, secure the ball a bit more. You know, starting to stabilize the drive. Turn 2 of the Orcs. Bang, lineman gone. Okay, right. You know, breathe, Hellboy. This is fine, right? You know, you're going to get another chance at this Black Orc. Okay. Clear the tackle zone, set it up. I think it's a 4-assist foul this time, not 5-assist this time, or something. You know, something like this anyway. Foul, stun. Okay. This is still all right, you know. Turn 3 of the turn 3 of the Orcs. No removal. Oh, glory be.
Whee!
Yeah. Turn 4. Set up the foul again. 4-assist foul. Stun. Okay, fine. Move on. Next turn of the Orcs. Bang. Lineman gone. So you know, I'm setting up big assists on the fouls. I'm breaking the armor. On this Black Orc. I've got control. The ball's safe. You know, I'm not under massive pressure, but I'm 3 players down, and it's my drive versus Orcs. And you know, and he's got no Apo, and I'm looking at this going, this drive has suddenly got really hard. And then he starts hunting my sneaky git catcher,
right?
Because he's recognised that this is the problem. So the tackle blitzer's coming round and he's trying to tag me and blitz me and all this kind of stuff. And then there's a turn where I think I must won. Maybe I won in 9 or something. Basically, I end up leaving 2 players in contact or something, or I leave a player in contact, and then he has the blitz as well, and he gets 2 stuns, and all of a sudden my drive is in tatters, and I can't make the ball safe on the next turn because of the way the pitch has ended up. You know, you're versus 11 Orcs. You've got 8 players, and 2 of them are stunned. And, you know, he's tagged here, he's tagged there, and I can't quite make the ball safe. And he sacks me, and the ball scatters and is caught by a big un. And I'm like, oh, God, you know. And they're movement 5 now, so it's, you know, he's still got a good chance. So I 1-dice the big un on the next turn, and I pow him. And the ball scatters, favourably for him. And the next turn he picks it up on a blitzer.
Yeah.
And this is turn 7 now, I think. And I scramble to try and stop him, do something to stop him. But he's able to slot it in on turn 8. Oh. You know, and it was one of those things where it was like, you know, obviously every turn the opponent gets a blitz, and it just so happened that, you know, he blitzed and removed me in a few turns, and then
what sort of removals are we getting here?
I think the first lineman was a serious injury, so I didn't Apo it. The second one I think is KO'd, so I don't Apo it, and the third one, From memory, the third one is a badly hurt that I Apo, and then he almost instantaneously removes a blitzer on the next. Like at some point in the turns after sacking me, he removes a blitzer as well. That then can't come back because I Apo'd the lineman. Because I'm just looking at this going, you know, because this is the problem with the 14-player roster with 2 halflings, right? Because you suddenly are not bringing on. You know, with having benched a catcher and 2 halflings, I'm replacing linemen and blitzers or whatever with strength 2 players, and some of them are halflings, and it's suddenly not looking that great. So anyway, I'm 1-0 down, and you know, and I'm looking at this going, right, I'm going to need some sort of miracle here. You know, I think I've got 11 or maybe 10 or so, you know, but anyway, I've got both halflings on the pitch. So it's not great. And I'm looking at this going, right, I'm going to need some sort of miracle here. And he starts just trundling down the pitch, basically. And I'm looking to snipe things. I'm doing my best here and there, but he's just ganging up on me. He's just blocking me, and he's got his strength guy. He's got more strength than me. He's got, you know, he doesn't have more guard than me, but with the strength and then the way he's positioning his guard means that I'm stuck in and all this stuff. I do get a 1-dice on Mr. Throw.
Hey.
And I pow him.
Hey!
and remove him.
Hey!
But then he catches on a big un.
Ugh.
Who's the corner? Catches on a big un again. So I'm like, and I think we have a laugh about it because it's the second time it's happened in the game. The big un catching the ball and stuff. So we have a laugh about that. And then he moves down and he's kind of sort of sideline caged. Okay, sort of. So no, actually no. No. He's sort of sideline caged. So he's not quite. His ball carrier's one square away from the sideline, but he can't get the pieces in front. You know what I mean? So he's got a normal cage, but the back and the sideline doesn't have any players standing on it. So the sideline's become its own cage. And I look at this turn and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something here. And I'm looking at it and he's in complete control of the game. Right, absolute control of the game. And I'm looking at it going, right, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I see that there's a chain push on that's a red dice blitz that I can then chain push my ogre onto one of the cage corners, and then the ogre on a knockdown or a push can base the ball carrier.
Nice.
And like that's the best I can do, right? So I'm using my blitz to get the chain push, and then I'm basing the ball with the ogre. So at least he's got to do something, right?
Yeah.
So I go, okay, it's going to get a bit crazy, mate. Here we go. I roll the chain push. I get the pushes. I push the ogre onto the ball, onto the cage corner. I roll the pow, and all of a sudden the ogre's on the ball, and I'm like, okay, good turn. Well done. I saw a red dice. Yeah. Great play. Great play. And so my opponent, he looks at this for a bit, and this is what, turn 4, I think, of his drive now. Maybe, yeah, because the ball was left unprotected early. Yeah, it must be turn 4 or turn 5 of his drive. And he looks at this, and he goes, oh, okay. And I'm looking at it going, oh, God, well, he just 2Ds with the ball carrier on my ogre. The ball carrier's got block. He just 2Ds with on the ogre. Then he doesn't move forward anywhere, but he's still safe, right? He doesn't go anywhere, but he's still safe. And my opponent goes, okay, blitz with the troll on the ogre. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Your troll's got block. Passes the really stupid. Moves up, 2D, double skulls.
Oh.
He then goes, okay, I'm going to re-roll that. Fails the loner.
Oh.
And the troll hits the deck. And all of a sudden, the ball is based with an ogre who now gets a free 2D on the ball. So I look at the board state and I look at what's going on and I think to myself, right, okay, what am I going to do? I look at him and I go, well, no other thing to do. Let's 2D the Black Orc. The big one. I 2D him, pow him, and the ball pops, and I'm able to pick the ball up with a few dodges. I'm able to pick the ball up. I'm not safe, but at least the ball's in my hands. The next turn, he sacks me. But can't pick the ball up. So the next turn, I clear a tackle zone. There's 2 tackle zones on the ball. I clear a tackle zone, and I pick up in a tackle zone and dodge out with my catcher and run away. And I manage to get a bit of a screen in. I'm working as hard as I can here, really. That's turn 6, I think. Turn 7, he tries to just stabilise a bit and get the ball based kind of thing. And I'm able to run away. Turn 7, I still can't score, but I'm in scoring range on turn 7, and I've got another player stood next to the ball as well. I can't really protect the ball from the 1D that he's got with a 3+ dodge, 3+2+2+ for a 1D, but I do my best. So his turn 8, he makes the 3+2+2+. He pows me. Yeah. He pows me. And then it's my turn to catch the ball with my player that stood next to the ball. So I catch the ball. So turn 8, I've got no rerolls. He's got no rerolls. Turn 8, the only play that's left for me, because he's double tagged me, the only play that's left for me is a 3+ dodge to draw a lost game. Okay? Now, if you told me at any point, from about turn 4 onwards of my drive, that you're going to have a 3+ to draw the game, I'd have bitten your hand off. So I look at everything, I'm like, nope, there's nothing clever I can do, nothing with re-rolls, I've got no re-roll. I looked at him, I said, well, whatever happens, it's been a great game. He agreed, and I rolled a 2. So 1-0 loss. At the end of the game, I did point out to my opponent the plan of, you could have just moved this guy here, and 2D'd the ogre with the ball carrier with block, and then you would have been able to re-roll it for free. If you'd rolled double skulls anyway, you'd have been able to re-roll it for free, and then you could have just, dropped back and still been in a cage and stuff. And he went, yeah, good point. He was very white line fever. I want to score. Yeah. So I always feel it's important to, if you see something like that, I always enjoy talking to people after the game, in games like that, where there's been a pivotal thing. Because obviously it's not just about improving your own Blood Bowl, you want to improve other people's Blood Bowl so that you then also get better games, so everyone improves. That's what Core does. That's Core's thinking behind it, and I like that a lot. So yeah, I felt a bit weird after that one, because it was kind of, again, it was a bit similar to game one. It was like, if you told me that you were going to get a 3+ to draw the game, I'd have said, okay, that seems pretty fair. In a not great matchup, but having seen what happened, it felt a bit bitter to not get the draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Particularly as sort of, draw from the jaws of defeat in game one, and draw from the jaws of draw from the jaws of victory in game one. A draw from the jaws of defeat in game two would have felt
exactly. Yeah. Bit fairer, yeah. So game 3, I was hoping to myself I was going to get some schmuck, someone who's on a 0-1-1 as well, and I can end the day on 1-1-1, and go into day 2 strong. So I find my table number and I move to the table, and sat opposite me is No Number. Big fan of the podcast No Number. Shout out to No Number as well. Runs a Tabletop Republic in High Wycombe. Runs a lot of tabletop Blood Bowl tournaments. 1-dayers with 4 games. Also runs the Red Trophy, which is a 2-dayer. If you are in the High Wycombe area or can get to High Wycombe, strongly recommend them. Lovely tournament, lovely shop. I'll be going to the next one, which is in June. The 1-dayer in June, and I'll also be going to the Red Trophy in August. So shout out to No Number, great guy as well. I believe
I'm correct in saying that he has the most caps for Team Wales.
I don't know that statistic. I know he has captained Team Wales before in the past. So he is a Wales guy.
I'm pretty sure he's got the most caps. I'm pretty sure I saw somebody put
that's good.
Fantasy football, yeah.
Well, congratulations, No Number then.
And interestingly as well, on One World One Blood Bowl recently, talking about the fact these rankings had dropped a bit, and he's making a big effort to sort of get better at Blood Bowl again.
Yes, I really wish he wasn't. When you sit down as humans, having played lizards and orcs, what's the one team you really don't want to see? Dwarves. And No Number bought dwarves. And he'd not taken a sneaky git death roller. Oh no, he'd taken a block death roller. And he won the toss, chose to receive.
He didn't get the memo about the meta then.
No. He won the toss, chose to receive, and for the next 6 turns, 3 diced blitzed every turn with the death roller.
Yeah.
And my team kind of went splat. Not permanently splat, but splat. And there did reach a point where I looked at okay, I've got one more turn. Maybe it was turn 5 or 6. I looked at it going, okay, this is my turn where I can still stop him from scoring if this works. It didn't work, so then I just turned to fouling him. And I because obviously, unfortunately, fouling with the thick skull on dwarves, it's just not as strong versus other teams that don't have thick skull.
No.
So that was a little bit hard. But credit to No Number, played his drive really well. Bullied me about, didn't let me in. 6 guard dwarves and a block death roller. It's hard work, but he got the spiral going, and he put his foot on the gas and went, right, I'm not going to let up now, and got the job done. 1-0. Death roller got sent off. Mm-hmm. So I set up for the 1 turn. Now this is the first time I've got a chance to do a 1 turn so far in NAFC. So I set up, and humans, of course, with the halflings, have the double chance at the one turn. You can either do the movement 8 one turn, or you can do the throw teammate one turn. So yes. I set up for both, so I've got both options. So I set up for both. I do the blitz. The ball is in a position, by the way, where both are viable.
Nice.
Okay, so that's really nice. So I do the first blitz. I do the blitz. I've got 2 rerolls for this, okay? I do the blitz. And I roll. I don't roll a push on the first block. And I looked at it and I went, okay, I'm going to take the POW and I'm going to swap to doing the halfling one. Now, I don't know if this is the right call because of everything else that was needed, but obviously I was going to have to dodge through tackle with the catcher anyway after everything. Okay, I've got 2 rerolls. It was the first block. I think if it was the second block, you re-roll. But I don't think the first one is a massive difference either way. And obviously, if I'd only had the movement 8 option available, I wouldn't have gone for that. I would have re-rolled it immediately if I don't have the throw teammate option.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the best...
Yeah. It needs some maths putting onto it. And I've been a bit busy recently. But it's something I'm going to look at. It's something I'm going to look at and see if I can find the answer to. Anyway, so I go for this. I pick the ball up, fine, no problem. Do the double GFI and the handoff, and I must call No Number out on this one because he does listen to the podcast, so I know he's going to listen to this one. So I did have a little chuckle when he looked at me and went, "Why didn't you just pass with the thrower? Why did you do the double GFI?" And I looked at him and said, "Because then I can't do the throw teammate." So there we go, No Number. I had to say it because it was pretty funny at the time. And he went, "Oh yeah, of course you can." So the ogre, he wants to throw the halfling, great. He throws the halfling, great. It lands in it. I'm aimed for a good square. We're there. The halfling goes 1 square forwards, magnificent. He goes 1 square backwards. This is fine. He goes 1 square backwards, lands, and now can't score because he's out of range. And having just criticised No Number, I also had to check to make sure that halflings weren't movement 6 and they're actually movement 5. And yes, they're movement 5. Yeah. So that was pretty gutting because I landed, and at that point I had 3 3+s and 2 GFIs with 2 rerolls.
And dodge.
But I'm going through tackle anyway.
All right.
But with 2 rerolls. That's still pretty good odds at that point. So that's 1-0 on his drive. And unfortunately, because of all the damage he's caused me, again we hit the problem with this roster where all of a sudden I'm setting up halflings and catchers, and what are my good skills on those 2 players? Dodge. What's Blanket on his team? Tackle. Okay. So it's at this moment I'm looking at this going, okay, well I'm going to try and draw this game now, obviously, right?
Yeah.
No Number then does something very interesting during the next few turns. His roster's got 3 rerolls, 1 runner, no Apo, okay, to get the death roller in.
Yeah.
And over the next 3 turns of my drive and his drive, he burns all 3 rerolls.
Okay. Just trying to put pressure on you, or?
Yeah. Trying to stop me from getting control of the drive.
Yeah.
And after he burns the 3rd reroll, I look at this and I go, I could win this game. Because, I'm thinking to myself, well, he's got no death roller for damage. If I can get a quick score here, I'm in. But I forget the fundamental thing with dwarves really is, as long as they're not rolling double skulls, and your opponent is playing well, which No Number was. And, absolute credit to No Number. All he did, we talked after the game, all he did was use the skills he had in front of him, which was guard, so, right, you can only get 1Ds. And tackle, so, okay, you want to dodge your player with dodge away, that's now a 3+. So, what are you going to do? And he played really well, and those 3 rerolls were probably very, very clever play from him. Because he shut down my entire drive. He clogged up the centre field. There was a moment, maybe, where I could have broken to the left-hand side. We did talk about it after the game. I'm not sure. I would have liked to have had this one on a replay. You know, it's one of those games where it's like, was there a break on the left there? Maybe I could have forced some GFIs there. But, you know, I'm not going to take away from the fact that No Number played well there. And yeah, he shut me down. And there was one turn where I failed a dodge, stunned myself. And then he stunned me. And maybe he then removed another player or stunned me again. And it was one of those ones where it was all of a sudden, my next turn, I had very few players, a lot of dwarves. And I was like, okay, I'm Hail Marying this now. You know, I'm going to dodge. I'm going to dodge back here. I'm going to pass here. I'm going to do this, do that. It didn't work. You know, I ran out of time. And, you know, humans, when they work, humans are a very versatile team, you know. But the human dwarf matchup, when played by a good coach, you know, versus a good coach, felt pretty rough. You know, and No Number walked away a very, very worthy 1-0 winner, I think. You know, used the skills he had on the team to maximum effect.
It's tough with humans, though, because I think, for me, they're a hybrid team, but they feel good, I think, when I've used them, they felt good against being a bash team, but being a quick bash team.
Yeah,
like elves.
Yeah. And also,
always,
you know...
But they don't feel as good when you try to use them as more of an agility team.
Yeah, and the other thing is, bear in mind my roster, right? I've taken tackle because I thought I was going to face blodge and stuff, right? I've faced lizards. You know how I play versus lizards. I wasn't going after his skinks unless he left them right there in front of me. I was going after the Saurus and trying to foul them. So I've barely used tackle versus the lizards. I didn't use it versus the orcs, and I didn't use it versus the dwarves. So I've kind of been playing 6 skill humans versus 7 skill teams. And also I've made the choice to not use my secondary, and all the other teams are using their secondary.
Yeah. So
day one. Yeah, day one it's a 0-1-2. Not great. Had a nice dinner though. Davo had a few people round. Had a nice I had a burger and chips for dinner. That was very nice. And had a lovely evening. Yeah, good banter. Nice chilled out stuff, and was ready for day 2. But were you were going to talk about a couple of guys that you know, some of our friends who were there. How did their day ones go? You know, in a nutshell kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, Dragonborn, who we'd spoken about on the UKTC episode.
Yep.
You know, Lizard tournament run recently had been a 4-0 and then a 4-2-0 at UKTC. So he's 8-2-0 at this point, and catapulted himself up into the 190s. So he's gone into day 1 of NAFC, and he's gone 3-0-0.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely
brilliant.
Yeah.
So exchanging messages with him, we're obviously getting a little bit excited. Particularly as he's got some orcs on day 2, and you tend to think maybe that's something you could have a go at with lizards. And my friend Spinning Bullet, he's took wood elves, which, you know, historically was one of the races to take to NAFC, but obviously since the invent of Blood Bowl 2020, people have been, you know, I mean, I think at UKTC they only had a 30% win rate, so, you know, it's not been going so well for him. But he's played a lot of wood elves in his time, and at one point was up and ranked amongst the top 10 players in the world with lizards, and he's gone 1 win and 2 draws.
Okay, so not out of it completely, still undefeated.
Well, he's not going to win it. But the interesting one of those draws is against some Chaos Dwarfs played by Purple Goo.
Oh, very good, very tasty. Well done. That's
so quite nice. Quite a nice draw there. I don't imagine Purple Goo was too pleased. I imagine he was, you know, probably hoping to win the tournament. So, A draw is probably not. But yeah, I think overall Speeding Bullet was quite happy. And yeah, it was interesting for me because obviously not being there, what I was able to do was have a look at the coverage that Mike Davis was putting on.
Oh yes, with the Honest Wargamer and the T Sport stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think eventually this stuff will make its way onto YouTube. I think at the moment you still have to subscribe to their channel to see the replays. You didn't have to watch the live coverage. Anyone that's watched Tabletop Blood Bowl being covered, on stream before, there's always that issue with kind of picking out the models and stuff like that and working out what's what. I think what they've done really well here, I don't know whether it's just better cameras, higher definition than I've seen used before, but you really could tell what you were watching. I think was good, and you could, to my eye, I could tell the players apart and all of that kind of stuff. They showed two games at once and flicked between them. I think I don't know. I think that probably kept it more interesting for the sort of more casual viewer, probably. And the stuff I've seen before has been done by Wolfen, who, very good player, has England caps and so on and so forth. And he's tended to focus quite in depth and kind of tactically about the games, I suppose. Mike did quite a good job, probably, of just lifting it a level and talking more widely about the Blood Bowl hobby. So hopefully some non-Blood Bowl players saw that coverage, saw that footage, thought it was interesting, and maybe would engage with the game post that.
Yep. No, for sure. Yeah.
Look, I think, let's recognise Mike did a stellar job, really, I think.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, shout out to Mike and the other commentators. Mike, obviously legend in his own right, and also shout out to Rob and the Honest Wargamer setup. I know who they are. They're on Twitch as well. These guys do a lot of coverage of AOS and 40k events as well. They're doing the World Championships, the 40k World Championships events later in the year. So and they are very interested in doing more Blood Bowl content. So yeah, fingers crossed that they stick in that as well. So that's the Honest Wargamer on Twitch or YouTube, and then you'll find links to their other stuff as well through that. So definitely go check them out if you haven't done so.
So roll on day 2 then. So
right, day two. So obviously I'm down on the bottom tables. Let's not beat about the bush. I'm facing a guy called Fluffy Kraken. Lovely guy, lovely name. Who's brought Skaven. Now, you can do a lot with the Skaven roster, right? It's one of those races that you can do a lot of things with. He's gone a bit off-piste. He's a bit new. He's told me he's been playing about 6 months to a year kind of time frame in his local league. He's got a 12-man roster. He's got 4 gutter runners, all with block. Okay. He's got 2 storm vermin, both with mighty blow. Okay. He's got a thrower.
It's a bit Italian, isn't it? That double mighty blow. The Italians like that double mighty blow, mate. You got to watch it.
Yeah. He's got a thrower. That's taken nerves of steel. And then he's got linemen up to 12, no Apo, and 5 rerolls. Anyway, the game starts, and I look at this and I'm like, okay, I've got to be careful, right? Because Skaven is Skaven.
But he's got 4 movement 9 blodgers, which is a problem.
Yes.
And 5 rerolls, which could potentially be a problem as well.
Yes. Now I'm not gonna dwell too long on this game. Okay.
Right.
Reasons being, the first block that he took, I said to him, okay, yeah, you can take that block, but that's a 1 dice. And he said, okay, and rolled the 1 dice on the LOS. A bit later on, he used Nerves of Steel to make a 5+ pass on turn 3 to score. Avoided my intercept and scored on turn 3.
Right, okay.
Then, and he's burned 3 rerolls in 3 turns, by the way. Then we'll just go through the rest of the drive. Then I pick the ball up, I stabilise, I start moving down, and then every turn he either cage dives me with a gutter runner for 2 dice uphill, or doesn't blitz. So it's either all in on the cage with a 2 dice uphill blitz, or it's no blitz. I don't remove any rats. So, and I mean, he's not removing my humans either, because he's not blitzing with Mighty Blow. And I'm not basing the Mighty Blow very often. So he's not doing any removals either, but I'm not doing any removals. And it leaves it, I think, in the end, that I needed 1 2 dice block to then clear a path to score, which I duly do. And it's 1-1 at the end of the half. We then set up for the second half. I pick the ball up. Turn 1, I chip a rat. And then I jokingly say to him, right, the gloves are off. I just wanted to make you feel comfortable for the first part of the game. He cage dives me on turn 1. Doesn't get me down. Red dice again. And then basically the game continues as it did in the first half. Apart from this time, I remove 5 rats.
Right.
And his team starts disappearing and mine doesn't. And it hits the point where on turn 8, I just walk it in. So I walk it in 2-1. I then ask him, I always ask, how's your 1 turn? Before we do this. And he goes, oh, well, I've never done one before. And I set up to defend a 1 turn, because you never believe anyone who says I've never done a 1 turn before, right? Because you get burned. So I set up to defend the 1 turn. It turns out he can't do the 1 turn, and I win 2-1. But then I showed him how to do a 1 turn, and he was very grateful. Because I said to him, look, you've had a rough weekend as well. He was 1-2, he's 0-1-2 as well at the start of the day. And I said, look, if you can learn how to do a 1 turn with Skaven, give it a go. This will turn draws into wins and losses into draws. And he was very happy to learn about that. And I also recommended he took an Apo rather than a 5th reroll, and he agreed with me. So I like to think I passed on a bit of knowledge. In the nicest way possible. Was it the best/toughest game of Blood Bowl I've ever played in my life? No. Was it good fun though? Yes.
You know what? End of the day, it's like we're talking about with the tabletop leagues. It's interesting to see how other people play. The guy's obviously come through fairly recently. You sort of said 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, exactly. And credit to him. He's turned up at the NAFC after only playing 6 to 12 months. Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Learning by. And do you know what? Scored a little bit early maybe on his drive.
Yes. I mean, there's.
But unless you've encountered somebody saying to you, well, try not to score till turn 8. How do you know? And particularly if in his tabletop league he's found that he's able to score and then just turn people over and score again.
Yeah, or he's looking to level players in the tabletop league for the first 6 games, so he doesn't care if he goes 6-0-0 if by game 7 he's got 5 levels on his team. He's got all 4 gutters leveled and a storm vermin's leveled and a lime rat's leveled, and and all of a sudden he's passing, so he's getting the throwers leveled and stuff. So I see it, but yeah, it was definitely a game where it was very much keep your head in the game. Just win the game.
Right. Yeah. You got 2 turn drives to do, and two grindy drives to do, and it can very easily cock that up against.
Oh yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes I've got a thrower with no dodge, right? He's got block but no dodge, so sometimes you roll the double power or the defender stumbles power.
Yeah.
Still can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, so now I'm 1-1-2. And I'm thinking to myself, right, let's see if we can go 3-1-2 and actually, have a good second day at the NAFC.
Yeah.
My next matchup is versus a guy called Mac, who has brought Khorne.
Ooh.
Not necessarily the greatest matchup either versus humans. And again, let's remember now. So I've played lizards who have some dodge, so tackle works there. I played versus Blodge Skaven, and the tackle did come into play there. So that was good choice, right? But now I'm facing Khorne that also have no dodge. So, he's got a block. He's got the block big guy, the Bloodthirst or whatever it's called now, and he's gone for 3 of the Strength 4 warrior guys. So, and he's got 2. He's gone block, guard, and mighty blow. I think it was. He's gone for a sure hands Khorngor and a tackle Khorngor. How many skills is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
7, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Something, yeah, 6. And then he's got a mighty blow Khorngor as well. Okay, so he's gone high damage output, right?
Khorne, fair play.
Yeah.
Play it fluffy.
Yeah, exactly. So we sit down, and we start having a chat. He's got 3 rerolls. He's got he's got.
I'm thinking that your 4 guard here, maybe if it survives, gives you a bit of a chance to kind of.
Yeah. Not only that, and also the sneaky git for fouling. There's options there as well. And he sits down. He says, "Oh, I don't play much Blood Bowl. I play more of the other Games Workshop games. But I the Khorne came out, and I kind of got inspired to play again." And I said, "Yeah, great. Let's play." And I opt to kick. And then at NAFC they give out these capes, right? So best stunty, you get given a cape at the start of the next round, and leading the pack you get one, and most touchdowns you get one, and most Kaz gets one. And the guy who's got the most Kaz is the guy who sat opposite me. Now, the opponents on my left-hand side look at me and go, "Well, he didn't tell you that when he sat down. Oh, you must be terrified of that." And I laugh about it and I go, "Oh, yeah, scary and stuff." But actually, all it is dice rolls, right? Most Kaz is just dice rolls. But anyway, he comes back, so he's in a good mood because he's still got the most Kaz cape, and he's on for most Kaz. And spoiler alert, he wins most Kaz at the end of the tournament.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
A question. Did he have? Because someone mentioned, did he have like black dice with little skulls on them?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So he's gone all in. He's gone well themed.
Oh yeah, very well themed. And when he opens up with just blocking this, stun this, block, stun, block. I think on turn 1, I think he stunned me 3 times on turn 1, and moaned that he hadn't removed me. But I'm looking at it going, bloody hell, this is troublesome, isn't it? So much mighty blow. Then turn 1 goes drastically wrong for me, as my thrower is the one who does the blitz because he's got block, so he's pretty good down here, right? My thrower does the blitz and rolls a double skull. And on the kickoff event, we roll Prayer to Nuffle, and the Prayer to Nuffle comes up as a random player gets given Loner 2+. And which player is it who's got Loner 2+? The thrower. So I'm like, well, I'm not re-rolling it anyway, right? It's turn 1 double skulls. I don't need to re-roll that. But then I get removed and the Apo fails. So that's a good start, isn't it? Then he starts jamming in a bit and moving the ball down, but really jamming in and stuff. And I'm looking at this going, I'm in a scrum here that I can't win unless I do something. I need to do something. And I roll pushes on the blocks. I'm rolling pushes on his big guy, and he's just powering me left, right, and centre. And then I think it's about turn 4. Suddenly, I knock his big guy over, and I'm like, right, he's getting fouled. Because if I get that big guy off the pitch, there's a really good chance that I can not only leverage some advantage back into the game, but also the guy's here for fun. He's trying to win most Kaz. If I piss him off by removing his Kaz machine, I might win this game. It's you got to think tactically at this point in games.
Thinking psychologically at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Got to go psychology. So I foul and I stun him. And then I start getting a couple of removals as well. And then he's moved the ball down so it's right near my end zone with 2 Khorngors. One's holding the ball, one's the other one. Wants another one. And then, all of a sudden, he 1 in 9's a block, re-rolls it, and it's a 1 in 81. And I have a 1D on the ball that can potentially scatter the ball out of bounds.
Nice.
So we go from being, in a scrum in the middle of the pitch on turn 2-3 into turn 6. I've got a 1D on the ball, which I get. I make it. I pow him. The ball scatters out. Great scatter. I pick the ball. I dodge out, pick the ball up, run away. He chases me down. I blitz through, run away. He blitzes the ball, sacks the ball on his turn 8, and covers it. But he's not able to go for the pickup because he didn't follow on the after the pow on the guy who's got the ball, and he tries to follow after powing me. After powing me and then rolling the armor dice and goes, "Oh, I'll follow," and I go, "Hang on a minute, mate. We're game 5 of the NAFC. You're clearly not new. Okay, you don't play the game very much, but you're not new. You can't follow up after rolling the armor. I've been asking you repeatedly because the pitches are quite small, right? So you were always asking the opponent, "Oh, do you want to follow up?" Because you knew you were going to suddenly have this is the game where I'm stacking players on top of each other to make them fit in the squares. Okay.
Yeah, because of the scrum that you've got at the minute.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't always go rules lawyery, and as we heard on game 1, I was very happy for the guy to put the Crocs on the ball, but I do draw the line when someone's trying to get something that's completely out of turn sequence. So he's unable to pick up the ball because he didn't follow. And then I'm left with some options. I've got a blitz option, I've got a dodge out pickup and some GFIs with a catcher option and all this stuff. And I work out what I'm going to do and I calculate all the odds and stuff. And I go for the best odds play and I make it. So I'm 1-0 on his drive, 1-0 up on turn 8.
Wow.
I've KO'd a bunch of his guys. Some come back, some don't. And we set up with 11 for me versus 10 for him, but one of my 11 is a halfling. And 2 of them are catchers. So
Great responsiveness.
Great responsiveness. Not ideal in a strength kind of fighty matchup, but I've got good responsiveness. So if I can pull him around a bit, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and look on the follow-up sort of thing in the first half. The reality is, I suppose with Khorne, he's probably got to follow half the time. So
yeah, exactly, yeah.
But yeah, look, you're not wrong. If it didn't make a difference, then you wouldn't have probably made a thing of it. But it did make a difference, and it's an error. Potentially, if he had wanted to follow.
Yes, I think if he'd realised that not following would potentially mean that the scatter means that he can't pick the ball up, then I think he should have. I think he should have followed regardless anyway.
But that's
it swings and roundabouts, right? These things happen.
You would have made a decision on whether to follow or not at the right time.
Yes.
So
yeah, exactly.
There's a limit. There's a limit to what you should give your opponent.
Exactly. And I mean, just
you potentially you massively disadvantage yourself. You would, because you would be following what you should do, and okay, it might be a genuine error on their part or something. But yeah, there's a limit to how much you have to disadvantage yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for example, with versus Fluffy Crack and Skaven, the first time he went for a cage dive, I said, okay, that's red dice, my choice. It's my choice of dice. And he went, yes, that's what's fine. And the second time he did it, I said, that's still my choice on dice. Oh yeah, that's fine. And then I didn't ask him for a few turns, and then he went for it again. I said, okay, my choice, yeah. And he goes, oh yeah. So he was aware of what he was doing. And then in the second half, I just didn't ask. I just waited for him to roll them, and he'd go, "Okay, which one do you want?"
Yeah.
And so there was an awareness, but I knew that I was playing versus someone slightly newer, and that you just judge it, don't you? So yeah. Anyway, second half starts versus Khorne, and I'm feeling pretty good because I'm like, okay, I've learnt from my lizard mistake in game 1. I don't have to push to score. this can happen. I can just turtle. And I start pulling him around a bit, and he starts being very aggressive basing. He goes, right, I'm just going to base you. He's like, I need you to fail something. I'm just going to base you. And he does it, And then he makes a tiny mistake, and he leaves me an opening that means with a push, I roll the POW, but with a push, I can run my team through and screen them off, and, I'm in a position to score next turn. And he goes, oh, God, and he looks at it, and he's like, right, and he starts doing some calculations in his head, all this kind of stuff, and he's looking at, does he do double dodges through to try and sack the ball carrier? Does he do this? Does he do that? Whatever. And in the end, he just goes, okay, I'm just going to blitz with the big guy and tag you. So he blitzes with the big guy, removes me, and then rolls, I think it was somewhere like 9 GFIs to swarm the ball. And I'm looking at this going, oh God. When I made my screen, I thought, yep, this is all right. I'm gonna have a 3+ dodge to get away from this. And all of a sudden, it's like, no, you're not. You're looking at a 4-4-3 now, right? As my best option at this point in time. But then I spot my favourite play of the whole weekend. I spot a 3+ dodge. I move a guard in. Then I need a 3+ dodge, 1D, needing a push. If I get the push, I then take a 2D, and I've got a 3+ dodge to go 2-0 up.
Ooh.
Okay? Pretty good, right? And if I fail the 3+ dodge to do the blitz, right, then I'm screwed anyway. But if I roll a both down, then I've got this 4-4-3 with dodge skill on the catcher to see what happens. Okay? So I'm like, okay, this is fine. So I move the guard in. I fail the first dodge, re-roll it, make the dodge, roll a push, take the push the catcher, do the nice chain push, and my opponent looks at Mac looks at this and goes, oh, nice. He hasn't seen it. He's like, oh, that's nice. Take the 2D, get the push. Now I'm left with the 3+, and he's like, oh, that was nice, mate. And I was like, well, thank you very much. I was pleased that I'd seen it. And then I roll a 2 and a 2.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I saw that coming.
Yeah, of course you did. And the scatter is not bad, but most of my team is kind of committed to that section to make this chain push happen, and I've kind of shored up as much as I can, but, things are based, and I wasn't going to roll dice that I didn't need to, etc.
Yeah.
And he's got just enough time to maybe score. His sure hands is in the wrong place on the pitch, but, he picks up with a non-sure hand and he gets away. And then I do some halfling dodges and I sack the ball.
Yay.
And I pick the ball up. Then he sacks me back the next turn, picks the ball up. Then I do more halfling dodges, sack the ball. He picks the ball up. And then I don't sack the ball. He makes a 3+. And the game ends 1-1. Another victory turned into the draw, And I'm just like, I'm sat there kind of like, I wouldn't have changed anything that I really did in the game. I broke through. And I had an 89% dodge to go 2-0 up. And he's not recovering from that.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And it felt kind of a bit like the Lizard game. It felt kind of like not maximum punished for bad play, but just something's happened and then I've been maximum punished. And it was like, ugh. So I'm now 1-2-2. I'm not annoyed. The guy's got a bunch of Kaz on me as well. He's happy. He's walked away with 4 Kaz or something like that in the game as well. So he's still on for most Kaz, which, as I've said, he ultimately ends up winning. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm sat there and I'm like, okay, this is not a disaster. I can go 2-2-2 and be okay with how NAFC's gone. Yeah. And I sit down for game 6 and I'm versus Death Roller Dwarves again. This time I'm versus Death Roller Dwarves with a sneaky git Death Roller. Lovely coach, lovely lady, Salandra. also known as Jenny on the Twitch community, so I know who she is. I'm familiar with who she is. We sit down, we have a lovely chat. She goes, "I've never played dwarves before," and I go, "No problem." She goes, I'm 2 wins, 3 losses." She goes, "It's all or nothing with me," and I'm like, I'm having a great time. Fantastic, lovely. We sit down, and we start playing, and in a nice way, I think Salandra will agree with me. It's kind of clear she doesn't know how to play dwarves, given the fact that she scores on turn 4 of her own offensive drive, and the death roller gets sent off. Now, obviously, you brought a sneaky git death roller for a reason. You really want to foul 7 times with the sneaky git death roller. So to only foul 4 times with the sneaky git death roller and then choose to score and get yourself sent off was a choice. I was able to equalise, but a very, very important thing occurs. In my scoring to equalise to go 1-1. I score on turn 7, and we roll Sweltering Heat on turn 8. So, it doesn't bother us at this moment, but she's managed to do a lot of damage to my team. I mean a lot of damage with that sneaky git death roller and general removals throughout the 8 turns, the whole 8 turns. Then we add on Sweltering Heat, and I set up on my own offensive drive with the Ogre, 1 lineman, 1 guard blitzer, 1 catcher. 2 catchers. And 1 halfling.
6.
Versus 10 dwarves.
Ouch.
Um,
This is what I don't like. The change to Sweltering Heat. Because it used to be an equaliser between a team that had been battered and a team that was at full strength, because you would roll individually for each player.
Yeah.
6 and they'd be off, or 1 or something. But the more players you had, the more likely you were to have players.
Yeah.
Off the pitch. Whereas now, because it's just it's D3 and
Yeah.
it's both teams.
I lost 2 players. I mean, I'd been battered, right? Dwarves had battered me anyway. Then I lost 2 blitzers.
Yeah.
And she lost one rookie lineman.
Oh, I thought you lost the same number of players now.
No, you do it each. Anyway, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you are in trouble.
And I look at it and I go, right, I've only got one thing to do: the withdrawn offense.
Yes.
So I execute the withdrawn offense, and I run the hell away from those dwarves. Okay. And I aggressively burn turns. Okay. Now, Salandra doesn't tell me this at any point during the game until after the match is over. She thought she was winning 1-0 at that point. She'd forgotten I'd scored to go 1-1. Okay. So she was kind of sat there going, I'm not sure what you're doing, but okay. If you want to lose 1-0, that's fine by me. Whereas I was looking at this going, if I can pull her out of position, I might have a chance here to go 2-1 and win the game. Maybe, right?
I love that.
So it was quite funny. It was very funny after the game. Anyway, it gets to turn 6 and I'm like, right, I've got to make a break now. I make the break. And I do a blitz. And I'm there and I'm in position, ready for a 2-turn. Turn 7 I can do this. Turn 8 I can do this. And I can score, right? I'm ready. She removes one of my catches on her turn 6. But it's fine because with a 3+ dodge, I can clear a route through, and then it's a 3+ handoff, run the hell away down the field, and then even if she gets a blitz with the on me, which is going to be a 2+2+, with a blitzer who doesn't have tackle, even if she knocks me over, the next turn she's going to have to make a 6+ pass to score. Right? So, 3+ dodge works, get the knockdown, run through, cover this, cover that, go for the handoff, catch fails, catch reroll, fail. Then she picks the ball up.
Yeah.
And runs away with it.
Yep.
And tags me up. And I look at this and I go, oh God. You know, I've gone from being a 3+2+2+ with reroll, right? Inbuilt reroll on the catch and the 2+2+ with 1 reroll from, you know, being as safe as I could be with the ball on the other end of the field to a runner holding it and he's, you know, 5 squares away from my end zone. And I look at everything that I've got left and I go, okay. I look her in the eye and I go, okay, blitz with the ogre. Does the ogre want to blitz? Yes. 4+ dodge, you know, does the ogre want to dodge? Oh, yes, he does. Let's go. I think I rolled a 6 on the dodge anyway.
Nice.
2+, yep. 2+, yep. Roll the dice. Double push. I'd have taken her both down, right? The runner doesn't have block. I'd have taken her both down at that point. Especially with Mighty Blow on him. Reroll. Do I make the loner? No. So I roll pushes. And then it's a very straightforward clear the ball from her. And she bangs it in and goes 2-1.
Ish. I mean, the things I'll say is, first of all, you should have passed the loner and then rolled double skull.
Yes, exactly. I know. What an error. Right?
That would have made the. In fact, you should have just told us you did that.
That's true. I should have just told you. Yeah. So Do I? Let's rewind. 2+. Yep. 2+. Yep. Roll the dice. Double push. So I go for the reroll. Do I make the loner? Yes, of course I do. Reroll. Double skulls.
Oh my God.
Oh, you can't write. You know, and then she just walks it in for turn 8.
What can you do, mate?
What can you do? What can you do? No, but basically, you know, what I felt with that game that I kind of I got the full battering from the sneaky git death roller dwarves and then dwarves in general, right? You know, and you know me, I'm not massively anti-dwarf,
but not even really, because as you say, the touchdown was scored and the goal was after 4 turns, so you're going to get a taste of what it can be like.
Yes,
I mean,
and you know, an 8 versus 11 is fine versus dwarves. It's fine, but 6 versus 10.
That's too much.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So a somewhat disappointing end to NAFC with a 1-2-3 record. However, as I mentioned to Duderino in the car on the way home, the last time I went to NAFC, I went 1-1-4. So 1-2-3 is an improvement, and at this rate, in about 18 NAF champs time, I might win it.
Yeah.
So I've just got to stick in it. That's because that's how these things work. And I will say,
it'd be interesting to see afterwards. I'm sure Mike or somebody will do some stats on it. My suspicion is that humans in general probably didn't do great.
Yeah, there's probably that as well. I'm sure we'll see some stats coming. I must before we move on to hear how your 2 lads, Dragonborn and Speeding Bullet, did, and then we'll do a roundup of what's been going on in the community in general and stuff. And the winning rosters and stuff, an NFC winning roster and stuff. Yeah. I will just say, Duderino took Goblins to his first tournament for playing Goblins, went 2-2-2, did better than me, and had a great time with it as well. So well done, El Duderino. So yeah, now I've said it. There we go. So if he does listen to the podcast, he can't chastise me for not mentioning it.
And your host for the weekend took Corn, I think.
Took Corn. Yep.
501, did he? Or
yeah, 501 for Davo. Yeah.
Wow, I mean he's corner his race, right?
Corner his race. Yes, he's He's what?
Going all right.
He's gone what? What's that now? 13 0.02 or something like this, something ridiculous like that with Khorne at the moment. So it's something like that anyway. You know, it's big numbers he's throwing up with the Khorne. Yeah. So anyway, how did Dragonborn and Speeding Bullet end up, and then we'll look at the winning roster.
Well, Speeding Bullet followed up a 1-2-0 with a 2-1-0 to finish NAFC.
Very nice, undefeated.
Yeah,
brilliant. Well done.
That's the second one in a row for him, because I think 2019, which was the last one, he went 4-2-0 with his Wood Elves.
Amazing.
So,
amazing.
Clearly Wood Elves
not broken. Yeah, not broken.
To work.
Yeah.
Dragonborn finally lost.
It has to happen sometime, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah, game 1 of day 2, and he lost to Sporran, who obviously goes on to win the thing. So that's that. He then got another win, and then he had a draw with a reasonably well-known coach called Gegster in the final game.
Gegster. Rings a bell. Rings a bell. Okay.
But he's got about 7 European Championships, I think, and has he got a World Cup under his belt as well, and a trophy cabinet? I don't know. He's got a lot. But he so Dragonborn finishes on 4-1-1. So his Lizard run at the moment is now up to 12-3-1.
Jesus. Wow. And
So
he must be about to break he must have broken the 200 then. God, he must be eagerly checking the NAF page every day, refreshing it. Oh my God. Well, fingers crossed to him. Fingers crossed to Dragonborn there for hopefully breaking the 200 Lizard with that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he started the tournament on 191, so hopefully that 4-1-1 will
it's going to be close. It's going to be close either way. It's going to be close either way.
So, yeah, fingers crossed for him. So, there we go.
Right, so we've just alluded to who won the tournament. So, should we have a look at his roster, Sporran's roster? You've got it there with you, I assume?
Yeah. So, I mean, we had a final, didn't we, of, unsurprisingly, Roller Dwarfs.
Yes, very, very strong. Yep, Roller Dwarves versus Orcs.
Which look like the meta now, don't they, Roller Dwarfs? I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's scary. Trust me, it's scary. I mean, you know, Roller Dwarves with 6 guard. Oh God, it's just you just sit there being a passenger in those games almost. I think. Yeah.
So the final was Sporran versus Elspunio, with Orcs and Elspunio with the Roller Dwarfs. The Roller Dwarf sounds like different to the ones you played in the sense of Slayer. He had a runner with leader. He had 2 blitzers with guard and 7 longbeards with guard. The rollers got sneak.
7 longbeards with guard. You must mean that the additional skills were guard.
Sorry,
with 7
longbeards, 3 of whom had guard.
There we go. That's better, because otherwise that's a filthy cheating roster, and no one would ever cheat with a roster.
No, absolutely. A roller with sneaky gear.
Okay.
And then only the 1 reroll. So only pumping the 2 rerolls, the 1 reroll and the But importantly, a bribe.
Oh, nice. So you can keep the death roller on.
So you can keep the roller on.
Unless you make a mistake and field 12 players in the final. And then...
Well, we have got 12 players, which does allow you to drive first score and potentially not field.
Yeah.
But of course, if you were to field 12 players...
Oh, you wouldn't do that though, would you?
Well, I think unfortunately he did, didn't he?
Oh, God. And then the death roller found himself...
being sent off,
gone. Yeah.
And I think it had been making an impact. I think it had got a couple of removals before it was sent off. So, yeah. That then becomes a really hard matchup for Dwarfs.
Yeah, also, it really does. It really does.
But, our winner, Sporran. Congratulations, Sporran.
Yep, congratulations, yep.
I think we've been waiting for Orcs. I mean, you've been waiting for Orcs.
Yeah.
Through, we've had many a back and forth on how good they are. Is this the roster then?
Okay, hit me with it.
Troll with block.
Okay, yep.
2 big guns with block.
Okay.
2 big guns with guard.
Oh, here we go.
4 blitzers, 1 with guard.
Okay.
With tackle.
Okay.
Mr. Throw.
Yep.
Queue line, no goblin, 3 re-rolls, and 1 assistant coach. I mean, it's just straight down the middle.
It is. It is. Yeah, you've got the guard, you've got the big un. I like the big un skills. I think that's where I'm swaying to now. Is I like the big uns having skills. Yeah. I like that because it just allows you to give the strength leverage even more with the guard, and you know, good guard positioning, good strength 4 positioning, strength 5 positioning. Boom, deal with that. I like a mobile guard. Tackle or mighty blow depends on what you're thinking with the meta. Not bad. I don't dislike it. Do I like a goblin as well? Yes, if I could fit a goblin in. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough. But hey, the guy won NAFC. The guy won NAFC.
You see, intellectually, I like the goblin because it opens up the 1-turn option.
Yeah.
For them, you've got 12 players with mostly AV 10 plus.
Yep,
so
yep.
You're unlikely to be down players. You've got your 3 re-rolls. You've got 7 guys with block. I think the only thing for me up in the air is on those 2 blitzers. I like the additional guard. You know, I'm always going to like more guard.
Yeah.
Mighty tackle or mighty blow, and I think that's probably the only thing that you can talk about. But I like the fact that he's not trying to do anything overly clever with.
Yeah, there's nothing
like that.
No,
he's just gone. This team is good, therefore I will just sprinkle some sensible skills on it.
Yeah, and let's go. Yeah.
In a tournament with 300 people, I will go 6-0 and I will win NAFC. Brilliant, mate. Well done.
Wonderful. Well, let's wrap up NAFC then by saying thank you very much to the organisers. You know, okay, I've had the tiniest gripe about the pitches, but you know, that's it. Genuinely, that's it. Right? You know, and next year I will be ready for it with slightly smaller bases on my team that I will bring, and I will make sure that in game 1 I get my eye in properly. You know, it's my fault. It's my fault on that, and that's all I have to say. But NAFC, you know, okay, the result didn't go my way, but the tournament itself was brilliant. Well done, guys. Well done, guys.
Well done.
Right, shall we wrap this up then with a quick tournament recap for March and April? Because, well, we've covered a couple of them because obviously we've been to some of them. But shall we wrap up with the community kind of roundup? What tournaments have we had going on that we need to discuss and say well done to the various winners?
Yeah, so I mean, we started doing this, didn't we, the first couple of episodes? But as you know, we've been a bit more focused on things we were attending. We sort of ended up skipping it a bit, so I'm a bit behind. So March and April, here we go. So. From the UK, we had the Northeast doubles at the start of March. Unsurprisingly, using the UKTC rules. The winners were Yudlagar with his goblins.
Very good.
Or Stig with his Khemri.
So very good. Nice.
Weird. Goblin and Khemri. In that rule set as the winners. That's interesting. The runners-up were Shipaz with Ogres and the Cow Daddy with Underworld. So interesting in that rule set. This threw me. Most touchdowns was Bucky 1398 with Halflings.
Wow. Okay.
We got Kaz was Gizus IX66 with Orcs for Kaz.
Okay.
Stunty was Pio with his Ogres. And the best painted went to Voodoo _conversions and their Corn. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that sounds like a good mix of the meta there, and sounds like that sounds like a fun one. Yeah,
I mean, without sort of giving away too much, you know, Yudlager and Goblins is going to come up a bit, to be fair. But I'd say that's a really good win in using that UKTC rule set. But interesting to see so many stunty teams without stars doing so well, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, very good.
Continuing in the north of the country, we then have the Mountain High Cup that was played at Windermere. Again, another one-day tournament, again using the UKTC rule set. We have Tax E-Cab taking unfortunately not underscores there, it's hyphens. So Tax E-Cab taking the victory with their Elven Union.
Okay.
Stunted Brain taking the runners-up spot with Orcs. Quite interesting.
Nice. A bit more Orcs, yeah.
Yeah. Touchdowns was won by Hodgie Mabob with Skaven. So maybe not.
Yep. Yeah, that's a typical one, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah. Interesting one here. Most Kaz won by Thor with Old World Alliance.
Ah. Thor with his Old World Alliance. Very nice. Well done, Thor.
Yeah. Stunty was won by... Now, I'll do this once because it's going to come up again. But
okay.
The actual name is SN34KY B4C0N. But if you sort of look at it and read it out, it actually says Sneaky Bacon.
Okay, yeah. Fine. Sneaky Bacon.
And Sneaky Bacon won the best stunty with Flings.
Congratulations.
And the best painted went to Ryu and their Corn.
Oh, Corn getting a bit of love on the painting then. No wonder.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they must be very well painted because obviously Thor is in attendance and Thor is now a good painter himself. So,
Indeed.
Now, next we go down to High Wycombe.
Okay.
For Pitch Invasion.
Oh, that's one of No Numbers ones that I plugged earlier.
Yep, so 4-game tournament. 1150 gold pieces. Stunties get stars.
Okay, yep. And quite a lot of skills. You get a lot of skills. You get eight normals or 5 and 5 normals, two.
Yeah. Big Welsh contingent obviously went to this one.
Of course.
So the winner is Atlas.
Yep.
04. Formerly known as
Fisher.
With lizards.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
The runner-up was the Shepherd.
Yeah, another Welsh guy, formerly Duperana.
Yeah, so as all of Team Wales have done prior to this next Euro Bowl, they've changed their names. Apart from yourself, maybe, and
yep.
That's Wood Elves with the runner-up.
Yep.
Touchdowns, Orkster.
Oh yes,
another Welsh chap with Slan.
Very good.
Yeah, casualties, Mysterious Handle with Ogres.
Yep.
Stunty Cup was won by Watford Boy with Ogres. And the best painted was won by Doc Miniature. And
very good.
That's good, yeah. Then we're down the south. We're down in Wareham for a 3-game tournament called School of Hard Blocks.
Yep.
1150. 160k's worth of upgrades.
Okay.
There was an element here of being able to stack a couple of skills or even potentially choosing a stat upgrade.
Okay, yep.
Looked like I sort of got slightly confused. But yeah, it looked like an interesting skill set anyway. But anyway, the winner was a chap called Itchin with Dark Elves. So multiple tournament winner there, Itchin. Runner-up was Tepic with Orcs. Touchdowns went to Grumble Doc with Vamps. So I suppose that plays into the stacking.
Yep.
Casualties, Freezing Star with Goblins. You'll like this. Stunty was won by Gimli 0289 with Lizards.
Oh, that's amazing. The Crocs and brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, Stunty Lizards were allowed for the Stunty Cup.
Well done.
And the best painted was won by Lyric and their Imperial Nobility.
Wonderful.
Beautiful feathers on there. I bet there were.
Indeed.
We're still in March, mate.
Oh my god.
So Steel Bowl in Sheffield, a 3-game tournament described as NAFC's little brother. Both proximity and rule set. NAFC won by Scouse Boy and Lizards.
Okay.
Scouse Boy who beat me at Water Bowl. Then we have the runner-up was Nodge Fodgkins and Necro.
Oh, nice.
TDs, another well-known coach, Spleggy and their Dark Elves.
Ah, yes.
Kaz, Jaybird and Snotlings.
Oh.
Stunty was Flickcom and Snotlings.
Oh, wow.
And Painted was a person called Break Tackle and their Skaven.
Oh, congratulations! That's a nice one. Yeah, I guess with the painting, you can never tell what's going to win, can you? So we shouldn't really be surprised on any of the races winning as long as you're a good painter. It doesn't really matter what you're painting, is it?
Well, this is it, isn't it? This is it. And it makes me wish I could see some of them. To be fair, so there we go.
We'll just have to picture them. Okay, yeah. On to the next one. I'm gonna try and make really interesting noises on this one. Okay.
Right. Well, you'll like this one actually. So Stone Bowl.
Ooh.
C rule set winner Andy Davo with Khorne.
Ah.
This is where the Khorne journey began for Mr. Davo.
Yes, it did indeed. Yeah. Yep.
Runner up was Java and Snotlings.
Oh, nice.
I think Morg put in his shift.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
Touchdowns with Vagabond with Dark Elf.
Nice.
And casualties was Leap. And
congratulations.
Leap is the person that runs big tournament in Leicester. Forgotten what it's called now. Like the biggest one-day tournament in the country.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good to see. Good to see them getting in. Tournament organisers getting into tournaments as well. Well done.
Yeah. Stunty. Well, the Stunty was obviously Java and his Snotlings.
Yep.
And the best painting was won by Dark Throne.
Well done.
But I haven't written down what they painted, so that's pretty poor of me. Then we've got Super Bowl, which was in Leeds. 1150, 3 tiers, basically based on the original Games Workshop tiers. So not the FAQ'd ones, the ones that were in the book.
Yep.
And we're looking at 5 skills for the tier 1, 7 skills for the tier 2, and 9 skills for the stunties. There's probably some other stuff as well. The winner was Lackbad and Orcs.
Oh, more Orcs.
Yep. The runner-up was Spleggy and High Elves. The touchdowns was Jask and Skaven. The Kaz was Hackett and Orcs. Stunty was Rydog with some flings. So flings and snotlings really dominating the Stunty.
Yeah.
And the best painted was Mick Toriana and Ogres.
Congratulations.
Nice looking ogre team. Then we're doing Peterborough, Beast of the Beast, which I think is probably a play on Best of the Best, or the fact that I think they also sometimes run a tournament called Beast of the East. Maybe.
Ah, okay, yeah.
One day, 3-player teams.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So the winners were Mr. Frodo with Dwarfs, Howling Griffin with Wood Elves, and Watford Boy with Skaven. So
congratulations, those guys. I know those guys. Well done, guys.
Watford Boy appears for the second time in our list. The runners-up were Thor with OWA.
On a journey with his Old World Alliance. Very good Thor. Yeah.
GB Morm with Tomb Kings and GR4NOT4.
Granota.
Yes. With Dwarfs.
Yeah.
Howling Griffin also picked up the TDs. Mr. Moog picked up the Kaz with Blorks. And our previously mentioned friend, Sneaky Bacon, picked up, I think, the best... picked up the Stunty with Snotlings.
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
So I think that's a second Stunty for them, right? One with Flings and Snotlings. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Very nice. Very nice.
And then the last trophy before the last tournament before the end of March.
Oh, thank goodness! I tell you what, I'm listening to this right now, and I'm thinking to myself, we've got to do at least one a month. Otherwise, we're just going to hit recaps. You know.
Well, actually, April's a lot quicker, to be fair. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
But this one's notable because it's in Warsaw, fairly near me.
Oh, right. Yes.
Basher 5. Now. Bibble Basher 4 was won by my my UKTC team without me.
Oh, yes, I remember this. Yes.
I think. And the one before that was won by me.
Yes.
Build Bash of 5. So they changed it again slightly. I think it was 6 skills and a 1.2 mil build
Okay, interesting.
allowed. The winner was No Number.
Oh, congratulations, No Number. Look at this. He's featuring all over the podcast. No wonder he was asking me when the next podcast was going to be recorded. I see what it is. Not only does he know he's going to be featured because he played me at NAFC, he also knows he won a tournament. I see how it is. Well done, No. With dwarves, well done, No Number.
Getting the practice in, But, I mean, our Killian came second with Undead.
Congratulations.
The touchdowns were won by No Number, which is amazing with dwarves.
Wow, with dwarves, wow.
But then the cows was won by our Killian as well.
Oh, were there only 2 of them in attendance? I mean...
Yeah, possibly. Well, no, because the best painted was won by Dracoia, and they're Undead. So there's at least...
Okay. Seems legitimate now. Okay. Well, no. Anyway, well done, guys. Sounds like dominating performances.
Yeah. Then we roll into UKTC, obviously.
Yep.
Covered that extensively.
Yeah, we've done a big one on that. Yeah, if you're interested in that, it's episodes 4 and 5, the combined.
What I'm going to mention is that actually, I don't think we'd said the Stunty was won by Yudliger.
Good point.
So Yudliger clearly good with goblins in UKTC rule set.
Yep.
So the best painted, Jackal for Necro.
Well done, Jackal. Again,
I didn't go over to the best painted table there, but I did
know
some teams that looked amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that the standard was probably phenomenal. So well done, Jackal. Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations.
Then we're up north again at the start of April for a one-dayer in Castlewellan called the Castellan Cup. Again, NAFC rule set.
Starting to. Yeah, we're going to start seeing a trend now. I think where it's we go NAFC rules, we go UKTC rule sets, into NAFC rule sets, into Euro Bowl rule sets. Yeah.
The winner. I don't know if this is. I should have checked. I don't know if this is the first tournament win, but a really lovely guy, a chap called Padster.
Oh yes.
And Chorfs, which I know he's been playing a lot of. So well done, Padster.
Congratulations.
Runner-up was Kalmala with Blorks. Touchdowns was Shumung with Dark Elves. Casualty, obviously, Padster with Chuffs.
Yep, very good.
Getting Gaz. Stunty, a Ginger Goblin with Snotlings.
Loads of Snotlings.
Yeah, seem to be on the rise. And best painted Imbotu with Skaven. Another Skaven team in for best painted, which is good.
Yep. Well done, everyone.
I think we're still in the north now with Holmford. It seems to be a lot of tournaments up in kind of the north of the country. Wibble Bowl 2022, which I think is tied to the West Yorkshire Blood Bowl League.
Yeah.
1 day, 3 games. Stunties get stars. 3 tiers using the new FAQ'd Games Workshop tiers.
Okay, so lots of orcs. Okay.
And High Elves will not be winning. 5, 7, 9 in terms of the tier skills for the tiers. The winner, someone I suppose you might know from Twitch and BB2, Sick as Eggs.
Yes, indeed.
Runner-up was Seg with Orcs. Touchdowns, some fairly new player, I think, actually. K-Fogt or something with Lizards.
Sounds new. Sounds new to me.
Yeah. Casualties, Shaky James, 89 with Orcs.
Lots of Orcs.
Stunty, Yudliger, Goblins.
Oh my god, the guy gets around.
Had a great couple of months, Yudliger. Yeah, well played. Goblin extraordinaire. And then the best painted was won by Heichdi and then Norse. So interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Then I think we're up in Scotland for the Mulligans Open.
Oh, yes.
2022. Again, UKTC rule set. Winner was Lord Garlic, or Garlac, sorry, with Skaven.
Congratulations.
Again, someone I think off the sort of Twitch Blood Bowl 2 community.
Yep.
Mars.
Yep, good friend, Marsum. Well done.
Runner up with Corn.
Yep, congratulations. Played well. Good work.
Touchdowns, Phil 78 with Wood Elves. Casualties, Bugsy with Corn. Stunty, Jack H with Snotlings. And Best Painted, Amsfeld with Wood Elves.
Very nice. I think we're starting to see a bit of a pattern. Corn, quite new. Snotlings, still quite new. People getting to grips with it. We're seeing a lot of patterns at the moment in this stuff. It'll be interesting to see what the meta shakedown of these kind of things looks like in 12 months' time. Will we have more teams from Games Workshop that have suddenly, where will Norse be featuring, for example, in 6 months' time?
And then Try Hard Bowl, which I love the name of, which is your NAFC rule set, played in London. 1 day tournament, I suppose a few days before now, or a couple of weeks before NAFC. Won by Bart K.
Ah, yes.
Is that someone you played at?
Yes, yeah, I played him at UKTC.
UKTC.
Yep.
Yeah, with Dark Elves.
Congratulations. Very nice guy.
Runner-up was Legion_UK. Corn. Again, seen a lot of Corn, aren't we? Touchdowns was Bart K. Casualties was Von Leopard with their Black Orcs.
Nice.
Rough and Tumble got the Stunty Cup with Ogres. Well done, Rough and Tumble.
Congratulations, Ogres. Very tough.
And Von Leopard's Black Orcs also took away Best Painted. So
brilliant. So you could look at them whilst they were battering you. You could admire them whilst they were battering you.
Well, maybe they were just trying to get the other team off the pitch because it didn't look as pretty. Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. And then the Easter Bunny Bash in Aldershot.
Okay.
1 day tournament, 1150.
Okay.
3 tiers using the new Games Workshop tiers, I think, from the FAQ.
Okay, so Hiles won't win and Orcs will be loads of. Okay.
Right. Stars are allowed.
Okay.
From what I could work out, was a lot of pretty much all the inducements seem to be allowed.
Okay.
What are you going for? The same coach and race won the tournament, most touchdowns and most CAS.
Oh my god. Underworld.
No.
Oh.
I will give you one more guess.
Okay. Got to be able to score touchdowns. Got to be able to get CAS and win a tournament. Skaven. I think it's fast. I think it's something fast. Skaven.
I'm sure there was a Skaven involved.
Oh, is it Chorfs? With Hackflem?
Do you know what? This player, I mean, I don't know. I'm making a massive guess here, right?
Okay.
The roster, but I'm guessing, and this person may now be my hero. Manfred Ironskull took the win, the touchdowns, and the CAS with Chaos Chosen.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I know.
As we know, in our pre-UKTC, you do like a bit of chaos.
Yeah, and I'm figuring, how did they get touchdowns? I'm thinking it must be
Hackflem.
You could build with Hackflem. Quite straightforward.
Wow.
Anyway, the runner-up was Whiskey Mancer with Tomb Kings. Whiskey also took the Best Painted.
Oh, wow. Lovely.
Alchemat took another Stunty Cup for Snots. So, good couple of months for Snots in the old Stunty Cup.
Congratulations, guys.
A couple of other tournaments played.
Okay.
There's obviously NAFC as well, sorry to round it up.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other tournaments played, but no details of yet that I could see on...
Okay.
Well,
maybe this will encourage people to send in their information if they realise they're going to get a little roundup.
Yeah, well done to well done to all the tournament winners. Well done to anyone that wins anything at one of these things.
Well done to anyone who wins anything, and well done and thank you to all the tournament organisers that enable us to play a silly children's board game on the weekends occasionally. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
So do you want to finish us off with NAFC? Or do you not have NAFC ready?
It's not done yet, is it? Because
we don't have the final results yet. Yeah, good point. We haven't had it all.
We know Aaron won. We know El Spunio
gets second effectively, and we know that Pete W got the league, whatever it is, the person who wins 6 games but isn't in the final because of the NAFC's way of doing it. And then I know the guy who I played, Mac, wasn't it, with the Corn, got most Kaz because I played him. But unfortunately I can't remember anything else, so we haven't had it confirmed yet. Okay, that'll have to wait till the next episode.
Well, okay. Absolutely. I mean, I'm assuming if Yudler got there, maybe he won.
I think Yud led the way for most of the day, but I think he was pipped at the post to the win.
But yeah, we'll wait for the next tournament. Wait.
Next episode, yeah. So in terms of next episodes, let's wrap this one up. In terms of next episodes, I'm going to the pitch invasion in High Wycombe in June, so that'll be my next one. So we'll definitely have a roundup of that. So we're May at the moment, so that would make sense to do it after that one. Probably is the roundup then. You got any tournaments lined up?
The next one I'm unfortunately for me, likely to be is possibly not till September.
Oh my god! Oh wow!
With Star, which is run in, I think it's going to be in Shrewsbury this year. Has traditionally been near to Ironbridge, which is sort of just outside Telford.
Yeah.
There is a board game cafe in Shrewsbury, beautifully titled Nerdy, which Speeding Bullet is eyeing up, I think, for the. And that's a tournament he's run for several years. It's an interesting one because you can't take stars. But he's always had a rule set that allowed you to basically, you can hand out 6 or 10 or whatever skills to your team, or depending on goal. But
pile them all on one player.
But then there is a separate pot that you have to pile on one player to affect star player.
Yep.
And it's been good the last few years. I mean, people like Core have come and Podfrey. 20 Phoenix won it the first year I went. So yeah, it's been a good little tournament. So that's probably next for me. But we can do one around pitch invasion. We'd also got 1 or 2 other ideas about things to do, hadn't we?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got some ideas. So yeah, we'll have to liaise with each other. But yeah, we'll definitely get one done. Mid-June will be the next one after pitch invasion, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds good. And obviously, I'll have finished that. Well, I presume I'll have finished that tournament on Funball, so I'll be able to give a report.
We may well be nearing the end of TSD as well.
Absolutely, and we probably should do some kind of bigger episode talking through the Tackle Zone Star Division's rosters, being as we've got pretty much half of Eurobowl playing with Eurobowl rules.
Yeah.
In a tournament. It'd be interesting to see who's done what and what's gone well and what's gone badly. For anyone thinking of taking a trip over to Malta, I guess. So yeah, plenty more to come from us as and when, I think.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Right, well, with that's been the NAFC episode of the Blood Bowl Diaries with me, Hellboy.
And me, The Fear.
And we'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.